they started making noise. So everybody, let's join Jesse Arnold and his buddy Curtis Akerman. Because when indulging in fine geekery, it's always best to bring a friend or two. Shooting the shell. Everybody loves shooting the shell. Shooting the shell. Let's start shooting the shell. You're gonna love it now. Let's start shooting the shell. Just might make you say wow. Let's enjoy some fun conversation. We'll be shooting the shell around the nation. Let's start shooting the shell.
Hey, don't be bringing up bullshit comments during the intro.
That's not your line. Your line is good morning, everybody.
Well, then don't fuck with a honey badger. You'll get the horns or something.
I don't think that's how that goes.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to episode something of whatever this show is. I don't know. It's Gradic Shelf. And it's great to be a star of something that doesn't exist. I mean, you know, whatever you got to tell yourself to sleep at night. Looks like we just lost our guest.
He'll be back. He'll be back. He loves this stuff.
I think I must have upset him with that honey badger thing. But everybody, welcome to episode 21 of season 4 of Shooting the Shelf, aka 151, I believe, is the way that maths out to the original numbering. We got a fun show. We've got a guest that's a lot of episodes.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of folks lately been celebrating, 1 year, 100 episodes. 151 is a lot of episodes.
It is.
Yeah.
And what we've only sat out one episode as a show on a Sunday night.
Yeah. This is true.
Yeah. But anyway, welcome everybody to Shooting the Shelf. It's Sunday night. It's the 1st of June, so happy June. Oh crap, it's my oldest brother's birthday today. Happy birthday, old man. You're still 15 years older than me. 14 years older than me. Something like that. Doesn't matter. It's more than me, so I just went blank. Welcome to the show. Curtis, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing excellent. Yourself?
I guess I'm salty tonight.
Okay. That's cool. It's probably that whole Gradic Quest thing. I get it.
Maybe.
I mean,
I did just have like half a pizza.
Oh, man. That'll do it. How about I shout out the comments in the chat?
Kentpool and Kentpool's dog doesn't count as give people what they want.
I mean, Jordan, too. Maybe I think Dylan's mom is a big Gradic fan. So, yeah. But we got some folks in the chat. I'll go ahead and shout them out. We got Brian Carr here. Very generous Brian Carr. Crom 316. Got Blake, aka Recon Rage, the star of Let's Go Offworld podcast on Friday nights. And the reason why I now recommend that you tune in. So, yeah, go ahead, Justin.
I got to pause you right there. We have a super chat from the one and only Stefan Delatour of Detour Customs, $4.99 super chat. Love you guys. Steph, right back at you. If your children are listening, I apologize. They heard my opening monologue.
Yeah. We do love you, Steph. And I've got How'd They Do That coming up with Steph here, and not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow. But looking at his awesome work, including that new boat that he just had at the last con. So and that is up on his website right now, detourcustoms.com. And you can pick it up at any of the shows that he's going to the rest of this year. So check that out because
that thing is ship shape because it's literally shaped like a ship.
That 100% true. We got Dub3 in the house. Michael Casper is here. What's going on, sir? I am Williams, I think. I know the
That was
H is
Jay
silent.
Williams.
I hear the T and the J are silent now. I don't know what's silent, but whoever you are, we like you. Keep coming back. We've got our other Jesse here, spelled correctly, like our Jesse. Liz Evans is in the house. Darla Akerman, I know her. Yeah.
Other people can spell Jesse how they want for their name, but mine and this Jesse's is spelled this way.
But that's the better way, though, right?
Well, it's my preferred way for myself and other people that prefer it. But, I'm not saying everybody named Jesse has to spell it that way.
Okay. Like to shout out, hey, Darla, because I'm not home. So, hi there. How you
know her.
We got Kent Poole here. Kent says, is this live? But he asked it before we were live. So when you asked it, the answer was no, but now it is yes. So Jeremy Goulier. Jeremy bought one of the 3 sets that I had for sale to raise money for Chris. So appreciate
congrats.
as well as Jen and Jordan for purchasing those. We raised $395 for Chris of D13 and Biblical Adventures to cover some tariff costs. So appreciate it.
Fantastic.
We got insightful imagery in the house. I actually just had to hit him up before this. You may see here in just a minute why. We got Stacy Lin, one of the co-founders of Carver/Curtis Con, coming to you next year in Ohio. We're still in negotiations about the whole thing. They wanted me to put a C or K instead of C at the beginning of my name and make me a K Curtis. I've never really been a K Kurt or K Curtis guy. Plus Carver Curtis Con with 3 Ks does not go well. So there's still some things to be hashed out. Some red carpet, some billboard signs, some, just some promotions with, kind of labeling me as the highlight of the show, the headliner, as it were.
So who was next in the chat?
Next we got.
I'm sorry, I think it was cut out from the level of nonsense that was coming through it.
No. I think we're fine. I think we're good. I am in a hotel though, so the Wi-Fi may be. Big Greg is here in the house. He was cursing a lot today on the customizing studio because I think he was dropping some stuff as he was reorganizing his shelves. Guaisagüe is here. Echevarria. He cannot reach Greg's shelves. We've got Tanya in the house. I've been hearing great things about Tanya and Gina's table at IshCon. Sounds like it was really well received. So good job there. Got Kevin McCoy here. So both the McCoys in the house. We got JMax77. Who Left Some Warlock is here. Kent. Yes, we did get an episode of Agradix Quest this past week. So I'm glad that you do not have to riot. Jen is here, another one of the winners of that auction for Chris. So good job. David Williams in the house. We've got Brian Lynn of Carver Customs, the other half of Carver/Curtis Con. William Husted is here. Purple Gang is in the chat. We've got Van Johnson. He's shouting out Bacardi, 151. Yes, Brian. Jesse did throw out an F-bomb really quickly. So he already apologized to the children, though. So we're good. Captain Firebeard Baker, he just had a birthday. So happy birthday, sir. Saw some pictures of him and Faisal out doing some photography. It always makes me jealous. I wish I was close so I could go out with them. Mirko Polo. Dave Orkin is in the chat. We've got Graveyard Grifter here. Scrolling. We got Evil Stick. Arthas Zoran is in the chat. He was also in the customizing studio today. Santos Rivera. There's Darla again. Hey there. Action Figure Girl is here. We've got Purple Ray in the house. Kevin Hamiltoes. Schmerberberger, he had a 4.5-hour live stream today. 4.5
Better watch out. He's pushing for your record.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go 24. It was maybe it just felt like it was 24. I don't know. Rosedale Studios is here. We've got Endless Fables and Miguel Gomez Jr. as well as TD3 Trooper says, "What's up, my dudes?" And that's it. So
excellent.
Yeah,
Welcome
thank
all
you,
to
everybody.
the show.
Yeah.
And just wanted to point this out. Today is Mr. Dub3's birthday. Happy birthday. That's the birthday that was being celebrated yesterday that I missed because I left to come home.
He also, his wife wants to know if you were actually Kevin Owens.
I don't know who that is.
He's a wrestler.
Yes, I am Kevin Owens.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go, people. You heard it here first. Dub3. Ooh la 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 la.
I'm also apparently Mankind and the guy with the stick. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Curtis in the back.
Yeah, if you could embiggen me, it's all right. I'll wait.
You can't do it?
No, I can, but it's more dramatic when you ask somebody to do it like Van does. This is a message to the Echevarria clan. I see that you're in the chat. And we heard through the grapevine that you had some folks over this past weekend, had a nice little party, little shindig. And then after Jesse left, you guys decided to bring out cake and ice cream. And we want to know what's up with that. Why is Jesse not good enough for cake and ice cream? Did you think he was going to motorboat the cake? Did you think that he was going to eat more than his fair share? What's the deal? So if you could let us know in the chat why you guys hate Jesse so much, that would be great. Thank you.
For the record, I'm not upset that I wasn't there for the cake and ice cream other than missing out on the celebration of the birthday peoples and not knowing there was birthday celebrations going on that I did not get to contribute to. I'm okay without getting some cake and ice cream. I definitely did not need it.
What do you think about this excuse that they have thrown out here?
It was absolutely beautiful chaos, so that makes 100% sense.
Gotcha.
Wepa! Wepa! Wepa!
That's kind of good. I didn't get any cake, and this time I thought maybe I could piece of cake.
I don't know.
All right, we should
I
probably
clicked the loop off, and it for some reason kept looping. Anyway,
well,
we have a guest.
Yeah,
Folks.
And before we bring this guest out here, though, I just want to say, because there's been some back and forth between some folks in this community. Most recently, I heard it with Van talking to Trevor from Legion's Lounge about what it actually means to be on your show. And apparently there's a contingency of people that feel like if you're not on a show by yourself, it doesn't count as an appearance. Okay. So like Van has been on Legion's Lounge, but only with another group of people. So he feels like that doesn't count as a appearance on the show. Our guest tonight has also been on this show, but he doesn't consider it an appearance either because he was not by himself. We had him on with his wife, and apparently that is not good enough. He said she needs to go away, and I need to be on by myself in order for it to count. So let us know in the chat what you think about that. Does it count as an appearance if you're on with other people? But in the meantime, Jesse, go ahead, introduce our guest.
Well, I was about to say, welcome to the show. Get your digital hands or actual hands ready. He probably won't hear your actual clapping, but he has been on the show before, but it was not about him. We weren't talking to get to know him specifically. So there's a difference, and I totally can respect that. Like, no, our next guest was not on this show as the featured guest, part of a group. Just like if, you know, if you had, you know, In Sync on the Rosie O'Donnell show, that's not the same as having, I don't know what the hell their names are, one of them by themselves on the show, you know?
Now, Mark or Greg says that him and Mark have been on the show, but because they're a show, then it counts. So as long as so I guess if you're on together with a partner that you have a show together, then it's okay. But if you're on with other people,
the thing,
like what we call normies, if you're on
Van
with some
needs to
normies.
remember is he was on this show. Van was on this show as Van. Jordan showed up, but he was invited on as Van.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And then Jordan was invited by himself and Van showed up.
When you need to compare shows to other shows, just remember where we stand, where you guys are in ours. Put your shillelaghs together for the one and only Jeff Ray Evans. I have no idea what word I was trying to say. It was not shillelagh.
Shillelagh?
Shenanay.
You know, like the Irish walking stick.
Put your shenanays together.
That's not what I was saying.
Totally not.
All right.
Wow, you guys are cracking me up.
We do have a question for Jeff already from the chat. Jeff, are you a cop? If you're a cop, you have to tell us that you're a cop.
Not a cop.
Okay. All right. Why the haircut?
I think that's to you, Curtis.
I think it's to Jeff Ray because of the haircut.
But
we do have a super chat here.
We sure do. Purple Gang Gang with $4.99. Jeff, you're the guest. Why don't you go ahead and read that one tonight?
Oh,
Purple Gang Gang, $4.99 super chat. I checked the spam folder and we never received an Evite. Perhaps Shooting the Shelf will overcome their dislike for all things ginger and purple? Question mark? Purple heart?
Oh, that cuts me deep. That cuts me deep. I wear purple quite frequently on this show. I have purple lights. I am semi-ginger in the beard areas. And while I might be self-loathing to some degree, it is not those things about myself that I'm self-loathing for. So maybe we will have Purple Gang Gang as Purple Gang Gang someday. Curtis on the left.
Earlier, you had said that we were at 151 episodes, which is a lot of episodes. Huge accomplishment compared to some of the other shows in the community. But out of those 151 shows, how many starred gingers?
More episodes than Firefly.
Ooh. Burn.
That's a math thing, and I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I don't FAFO with math.
More than one? Is it more than one ginger in the 151 episodes, you think?
Well, I mean, there was a ginger on Gilligan's Island.
I'm talking about the 151 episodes we've done. How many gingers?
Well, if you count my beard, all of them, except for one.
Okay. All right.
Because apparently my body does not like the sustained fun of Legion's.
Never mind. Apparently Elijah is Ginger Prime, so we're good. Yeah, and he's been on a couple times, so we're good.
Okay.
Right. So.
You got to do a ginger episode. Get all the.
Well, before we get to an hour and a half, before Jeff gets to talk about anything, Jeff, let's bring up our opening segment, shelf selections.
Oh, that's
Curtis,
fun.
What are shelf selections?
Shelf shillelaghs. That is where Jesse and I found some shillelaghs throughout the week that inspired us, and we decided to put the pictures of them up here and talk about them so that hopefully you're inspired to. Let's go. All right. First up is one of my picks. There we go. Yep. This is from Arthur Zoran in the chat. And he did an awesome job here. I love the blending on the crown from the red into the kind of orange and almost into like a yellowish, like the blending there is so good. the facial details on here, like the highlights, the areas of blush, the eyes look perfection. Like, I mean, he kills it. Like Arthas does a great job anyway. But this was really something special. I will say though, I'm a little disappointed in Arthas because, a couple years ago, he was my artist of the year and he was doing a bunch of Dwagars, bunch of, like gray dwarves. And I loved him. And then he was like, you know what? I'm not doing that anymore. Screw Curtis and the dwarves. I'm doing all elves now. And I just got to say, you could throw one in every once in a while. Like, maybe every couple months or something, do one gray dwarf. But this looks fantastic. So good job, Arthas.
Arthas, I'm going to embiggen myself for a second because I don't need someone else to do it. You do you. You don't pander and don't submit to the pressures. Your stuff's amazing. I love the phoenix effect that crown has. It looks like the phoenix bird rising from the ashes of this guy's head. And I'm not like, that came out more funny than I meant it to sound, but this is a beautiful piece. We could do an entire show just looking at Arthas for real. This is gorgeous. It's amazing. And
apparently Arthas will be on the Lair as well, June 10th. So that's coming up here.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. Those eyebrows are like top-notch eyebrows that I've seen on a custom in a while. Those eyes look into your soul, and being a big Phoenix fan, I'm sold on this whole paint work. Like, dang, that's badass.
Good
For
job.
sure. Real quick,
Oh,
super chat from Van Johnson. Congrats to Ginger Kids for opening their toy store. And there's a later comment, contrary to popular belief, they do not collect Ginger Kids. The Ginger Kids are running the store. So congratulations. Hopefully someday I'll make it down there and get to check it out in person.
And let's see. Next one, I believe, is one of Jesse's.
Nice.
So yes, this is one from one of our friends of the show. Just a friend in general, Legends Collector 1321. Ignore the other 1320. This is Dylan with what I gotta say is probably one of the coolest, creepiest Tuberculi builds I have seen thus far. It's just really, really fun experimentation with all those parts and just making it super creepy and uncomfortable. Well done.
Yeah, I loved this when I first saw it. And then when I saw it in the next group that he posted in, I still loved it. And 3 groups later, when he continued to post it, I still loved it. And now as a shelf selection, you would think I would start getting tired of it, but no, I'm not. It is creepy. It's cool. It looks like something that would get me to go out and see like a really scary, freaky movie. Before I finish and turn it over to Jeff, I just want to say I have heard your calls to the people. A lot of people said that they've been missing some Graddock. And so for the remainder of shelf selections, I will be eating a burger. Go ahead, Jeff.
Thanks. Dylan, he's our one of the master posers out there in the community. And
he is a big poser.
He's a big poser. Not like that poser, but like posing of action figures. And he knows what to do with these parts. Like he has insane ideas and they come to fruition. Breaking down the parts, I really like how the wing pieces can be used in multiple ways, and to use them as creepy crawly legs that's just a genius idea. Genius.
Oh,
very cool. All right, we'll move on to the next one. Well, Curtis is eating. We don't want to have him talk while he's eating because that would just be or have his mic on while he's shooting.
Jeffrey, this one's yours.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Is it back-to-back Jesse ones?
This was one of my selections. This is from our buddy. So I messed up.
Yeah.
Well,
Am I on a
I
delay? I,
like
feel
it.
like I'm on a delay.
Yeah. Am I
This
on?
is Junkie and Crafts and Builds, our buddy Mike. I just thought, this was great rendering using, I'm assuming, some sort of, digital screen, backdrop, and the D13 Moses, the older Moses. I just think it's really cool, really captures that old Cecil B. DeMille, the Ten Commandments in the parting of the Red Sea. I just thought it was a really, really fun shot.
Jeff.
So the lighting, like if he is using a digi background, the lighting going from the bottom through the robe, like that brings it what is it, that comps it well together, that brings it all together. And if you get interactive lighting on the figure, on the subject from anything else, that's the best.
Guys,
Graphic?
we're talking about a biblical figure here, whether you believe it or not. Try to keep the comments classy for a few minutes while Bible stories are on the screen, and stop talking about Wahlburgers.
This is a great shot. I hope that one of my photos did not get lost in the shuffle, since we just did 2 for Jesse. As far as Jesse's comment about this being the older Moses, I believe they all came out at the same time. There's only been one wave of biblical adventure so far, so I think they're all the same amount of age. But great shot here. I don't know how he got the water to separate like this, but however he did it, that's pretty cool. I don't know if he channeled his own inner Moses or what, but yeah, great job. Junkie and Crafts and Builds. Good job. All right, next. This is one of mine. And actually there were 2 for this same one. I don't know if it's on another slide.
Because they were such dynamically different pictures, I gave them each their own slide.
So actually on this, this is Zurin. Sorry, it's a small screen here in the hotel. Zurinar 1906. I don't know. I can't see it on mine. Hopefully you can see it on yours. But what I thought was cool is if you go to his Instagram, you see this, like he does it kind of like as a comic book, right? So like there's different slides. Like you go like it's like going through the pages, and he's doing the poses as if he's going through the actual comic strip, like a comic book. So yeah, it's just really cool. I love this one with the cover, but as you go through there, then you've got, the other scenes and everything, and the chat bubbles and all that. And it's just, yeah, he just did an amazing job. So really cool Instagram. If you haven't already subscribed, check it out. So
going back to that cover image of the comic, wow, like even putting there's Moses again, putting the credits of the writer, artist, inker of Hush on there, and using the Hush characters in these images, bring back some great memories reading the original storyline. Shout out to Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee coming back doing Hush 2, doing the next installment in comics.
So instead of Hush, it's Hush.
Hush.
Oh wait, was that that was a rude hand gesture, wasn't it? I'm sorry.
Yeah, what was that, Jesse? Jeez.
Let's keep it classy while Batman and Superman on the screen, Jesse.
Definitely not a family-friendly episode.
All right.
They're not real.
Jesse.
I think this is great. I love the fact that these are assuming these are the Mafex figures based off of the Jim Lee Hush. So like it's the right figures for this cover. I mean, it's even got on this one, with Poison Ivy, the way in the back there. Yeah, these are great series of shots. The tone and the flavor and the color palette of the scenes feel exactly like a Jim Lee cover, and interiors come to life between his art and the Scott Williams inking, and then whoever did the coloring. I don't remember on that series, but amazing shots.
I love the blurred background on this one. It makes those glowy eyes stand out even more. I feel like if it was clear in the background and you had the glowy eyes, I don't know, it would look very kind of, I think, photoshopped, but with it glowing but also blurred out, I don't know, something about it looks super cool. So
yeah. And does he have the poison ivy vines wrapped around his forearm there? Am I seeing that right?
that figure comes with those where you can have them wrapped around like his arm and his neck and stuff. So
nice. That was one thing I never liked about the old DC Direct ones or whatever they were called, is that Batman or Superman only had the vines on him. Like, I don't remember there being a version of him without the vines. Like, they were like sculpted onto his neck and stuff. And I just wanted a regular Batman or a Superman. But these are really cool, great shots.
Yep.
And I just saw Catwoman in there. I can't believe I didn't notice that.
Oh, sorry. Where at?
In the rubble.
She's that's what Batman's digging in the rubble for.
Oh, yeah. That is correct. I didn't even catch that. Good call. I guess this is Jesse's.
This is one of mine. This is Boba Chuck. Amazing dio builder, cool dude. I feel like, I don't know if I just wasn't following him before relatively recently, even though I'm very familiar with his name. But I feel like I've been seeing tons of his pictures on Instagram and in the Cabal and stuff lately. And every single one of them is just, I'm like, how do I pick one? And this one just really jumped out at me this week. The way that mist, that fog is kind of funneling down the middle. You know, it feels like it's like falling right into like a beam of moonlight or something. And just the really fun, there's not a lot of dio elements necessarily, but just the way the figures are posed and the dynamic action feeling of it is amazing.
I know I told people I was going to eat a burger for the rest of this segment, but I'm kind of full, so I'm going to save the rest of this burger for later. So, FYI.
Thank you.
Yeah, as far as this shot goes, I love it.
Make sure you let us know what hotel you're staying at so we can tell them what room to go look at in case there's a weird smell later.
Oh no, I'll do my due diligence. All right. Yeah, love these two sides facing off. Super cool. I love like this look of these two. It kind of reminds me of Jesse's favorite cartoon growing up, the X-Men, the animated series. Where they're kind of running towards each other right before the show starts. It reminds me of that kind of segment, and I like all these like blue skeleton / zombie-ish creatures over here on this side. The smoke in the middle, the lighting, everything looks cool. I really like it. Jeffrey.
Great use of the looks like the graveyard skeleton 4-pack in there, and then those sculpts on the main subject characters. The sculpt on the looks like the legendary barbarian as the base body. Those horns with the skull in between might be Von Burke. I don't know.
I think you're right.
Yeah, it looks great. And then that hair on that skull and beard, like that's badass. Like that gives them some culture.
Yeah. All right. Next is one of mine. This is Epic underscore.
Nope, this is from Jeff.
Yeah, that's fine.
I had this one too.
Oh, we both picked.
All right, that's fine. Well,
you
still,
did not send this one to me.
Oh, I know I had it, but I guess not. Okay. But still, this is Epic underscore disaster. So epic disaster, but really interesting spelling. You got Turtles and April and Splinter and Casey and a little farmhouse in the background. So yeah, just super cool. I liked it. I liked it enough to pick it, but apparently not liked it enough to send it to Jesse. Jeff, tell us what you liked about it.
I like that they're using the Jim Lawson turtles, because that is the the comic book turtles that I grew up with, but then they put the color bandanas on them, which brings it back to that feel and look from the first movie, 1990 TMNT movie, where they're at the farmhouse. Splinter wasn't there. Splinter only showed up as a force ghost or as a spirit, but it harkens back to that feeling, that nostalgia of the first movie for me.
Jesse?
I think this is great. And I did just do my due diligence and double check. It was not in the cluster of photos you sent to me. So if you did, I mean, I'm not saying you didn't pick it, but
I
Jeff
definitely
sent this
saved
to
it.
both of us.
Yeah, I definitely saved it. I
As,
just couldn't send it to you. It's on me. It's not on you.
But yeah, again, I double everything you guys said. I love it. I love that Raph is positioned away so we don't get to see Curtis's favorite part of the Casey figure, and just the whole Mirage look and everything, even though they've got like all the different colored bandanas. It's just a great lineup, great use of the figures and the backdrop and everything. Love it.
In fairness, it's the favorite part of the modified Casey figure. The standard Casey figure, it's a little lackluster. So I'm glad that they covered it so that there's not the distraction though. All right, next is one of mine. This is Toy Goof and Gons on Instagram. He also had an amazing Superboy shot this week. But I could only select one without Jesse yelling at me and putting me in the basement. So I picked this one. But I mean, dude, Ryan's doing some killer photography. Enoch is one of the figures I was most looking forward to this year. And this looks awesome. Like I love the background. I love the pose that he's got on this. And it really highlights the details on, the armor, the soft goods, and that face. Like that face looks so good. Like the sculpt, the paint job that the Four Horsemen did. Man, it just looks so good. This is an amazing figure and amazing shot by Ryan.
I didn't see
100%.
this. Go ahead. 100%, Jesse was saying. I didn't see this through Ryan. I saw this actually as a second posting through Carver Customs. Brian Lynn always likes to post his props and dios that other people use, and you can see in the back his torches in there. I don't know if he did the far back dio piece. I don't know. Brian, if you're in the chat, let us know.
I know that is a Crashbox Customs.
Oh, okay. Crashbox Dio with Carver Customs torches. And Ryan got like the lighting just perfect. It's like that twilight happy hour look on Sir Elijah or Sir Enoch. Sir Enoch. And then you can see the nice glint on his bracer and decoration of the bracer, and then everything just goes up to the face. It's great composition.
Jesse.
Absolutely. I think this is a beautiful shot. This was one, it was on my list of ones to show, but when I saw it in Curtis's,
You're just
am I
delayed.
on a major delay or something?
Major delay, yes.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it's a great shot. One I was going to pick, but when I saw Curtis, I bumped it off my list, which was fine because I had too many anyway. But Ryan has, seen him get to come back and go into town on his photos lately has been really cool. Got to spend some time with him and Amber, with the other folks yesterday, and got to talk about some dio stuff and some of his processes and whatnot. So I'm excited to see what else he's going to be bringing to us in the future.
All right.
Real quick, I saw this comment from William. Can no longer pre-order this guy. Be patient. A lot of the places will kind of lock in their pre-orders before the shipment comes in. so you might not be able to pre-order him, but once that release date hits in mid-August, it probably won't be too hard to get him. So just keep your eyes peeled and watch for people dropping on Big Bad and stuff.
Yeah. And if not, I think I've got like a dozen. So, all right. Next is one of Jesse's.
So this was one I meant to share last week. Toys and Photography with the Mezco Turtles and Casey. I think it's just the 4 of them. My other screen hasn't caught up yet. Yeah, absolutely love this shot. Someday I will get these figures, at least the turtles, and I love the tone. You know, it feels kind of like the old school, you know, like the original comics, but with a little bit of color and life in them. You know, it just gives off energy of the original movie if it had been done as like a stop motion claymation kind of thing or something. So it is a really cool shot.
Yeah, these are cool. I love the way that they put this together to where you're seeing, you know, like all the accessories and the poses and how you know, they've kind of like, I don't know that it necessarily makes sense, like where you've got some of them like way up high, like what are they standing on something, like what's going on, but it feels very comic book cover to me, like where you would have stuff like this where, you know, you just have like the whole freaking comic book taken up with these, you know, kind of charging in and stuff, and it doesn't have to really make sense, just has to look cool, and this looks cool. So Jeff Ray.
100% on the comic book cover comment. I can just see the title being above Leo, and I really like what they do with Donnie in the front. Like he's got the goggles on, he's looking at his heads up display. It's awesome. And then you're thinking, oh, it's a story, so what's on the other side? Like, is this like a diptych two-sided image? So like he could have like the Foot or Shredder or another character coming, and then they're both coming at each other. So what's on the other side? What's off screen? It makes you think.
Yeah, and I like that they put the Donnie up front since he is the best turtle. So yeah.
Touche.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Next is one of mine. This is Graveyard Grifter. Last week we were doing shelf selections, and gave us a kind of, hey, check out my Instagram. I've got some stuff. And I saw this one from this week, and dude, this is freaking terrifying. I love it in a really creepy, cool way. I believe this is a Resident Evil figure. I could be mistaken on that. Correct me if somebody knows in the chat. But he had him, you know, they had this character in a jail cell, and this was like looking from the cell. And man, that thing is just terrifying looking. I love it. Jeff?
Totally. I was like, is it a Joker? Is it like what is this character? But then I just was like, it's just terrifying. It's like this. It's like the killer clown of the prison. And it really sells that it's in the prison because he uses these, you know, prison bar defocused in the front. And it's cool. It's a cool comp.
Absolutely. Jesse?
This is really cool. It's super creepy. When I saw it on my phone, I also thought that it might be a Joker until I saw it bigger. And Curtis, you know, loves putting out definitions, even though he says he doesn't read. A diptych is a work of art, most commonly a painting or a carving that is composed of 2 panels, often hinged together. Yes. Very nicely done, Curtis. So that's, yeah.
We all learned a new vocabulary word today.
My art history saved me.
Well, some of us already knew it, but good on you for helping everyone who didn't know it. But yeah, great shot. Creepy. Reminds me of a movie I just watched yesterday called, I don't remember what it was called, How to Kill Monsters, where there's like monsters attacking a police station. Very, very low grade B horror movie, but it was fun. And this just reminded me of that as well. Not that the picture is low grade. Quite. Never mind. You know what I'm saying.
No,
I hope you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Next is one of Jesse's, I think.
Mm-hmm. First Strike Figs with this great Godzilla shot. I love seeing it like coming up out of the water and the boats, and the city off in the distance, the gray sky. It just feels very epic. I can hear, the music and his roar and everything. Just it takes me right into the story of this picture. Amazing shot.
Yeah, this is really cool. I like this a lot. What did you say? What line this is? Or do you know what line this
I
is?
did not, because I'm not sure.
It's super cool. I like it. And then the whole setup with the the boats and the water and the waves and stuff. Like I have no idea how they did that. But this looks really cool. And even the the scenery in the background with the skyline and stuff. Yeah, this is beautiful, man. I love it.
I think I want to say it's Tamashii Nations or Bandai, Godzilla -1, but I can do it way off. Triptychs. Yeah, now we're to triptychs. That wave that's coming in, that's just awesome. I'm a proponent of. Well, I guess the theme of tonight is big waves, with Moses and Godzilla.
Yeah.
That would be a cool image, having Moses parting the sea and Godzilla coming at him. But that tanker in the back and then the little dinghy or sailboat without the sail in the front, it just brings it all living together. And scale wise, it makes Godzilla that much larger.
Could be a schooner.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Speaking of making waves, check out Carver/Curtis Con next year in Ohio. All right. Next one is one of my picks. This is TD3 Troopers. Another person that last week said, "Hey, check out my Instagram." And I said, "Okay, I will." And I took a look and I saw this and I was like, "Dang, that looks awesome. Like that looks movie awesome." I love this. I love this whole setup. Just the way that the droids are kind of standing there. You got this one kind of backed up against the wall. The whole like Dio piece. I don't know what, like, if he just like created this out of like plaster and wood or what this is. But it looks awesome. I love it. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Jeff.
Yeah, I think I looked at his Instagram also, and I looked at some behind the scenes, and he does create the dios with plaster Paris, wood, like little bits of concrete, and it's like a whole facility. Like there's even a larger portion of the dio. But he had, and then he's got all this lighting, interactive lighting coming from the top. But then he put all these droids in different parts of the dio and got a nice composition going.
Now, Jesse, I know we're going to you next, but didn't we have your buddy on, the Star Wars guy, that he was doing some stuff like that where he was building his own sets and stuff?
He was, yeah. Tyler, Failed Imagineers on Instagram, he was definitely doing that sort of stuff too. He was doing 3D prints and just like figuring out how to, hand make stuff. So
cool.
Very cool.
But yeah, this is a very cool shot. Like I had to do a double take when I saw this, and I'm glad you picked it because it was another one that would have been on my list. So thank you. It's it feels cold. It feels cold and lifeless. Like the droids tend to be, but just being in this chilly kind of snow stone hallway kind of feels Hoth-esque. It's just really cool, and seeing the different, like the Grievous like battle droid, like, or guard droids, I forget what they're called, is just cool seeing them all together and like patrolling this base or whatever it is a really fun shot.
Awesome. You ready for the next one?
I want to say one more thing. I love that like nothing in the front is super in light and focused, that like the light is further back in the diorama, so it's like you said, it's very cinematic. It's pulling you into what that destroyer droid, like that, I feel like that's the centerpiece of the attention in the shot. I absolutely love it.
Yeah,
For sure. Now we ready for the next one?
Yes.
Roger. There you go.
So this is one of mine. This is from Crom 316, aka Mark. We had on a couple weeks ago. He's been getting into customizing and doing photography, and I just want to give him a shout out and keep encouraging him to do it, because diving into stuff can always be a little bit intimidating, but you're killing it, man. I love this shot. I love the Dubon, lancing this skeleton, and that it's just kind of the bright, out in the field kind of scenario. It just feels epic and spot on for that character. I see him like he's like making a charge into a fortress or a base of some sort, and there's just skeletons in the way, and he's just taking them out as he rides in to deliver his message.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that I worked real hard to try to set up that Roger bit. Didn't get a tee-hee, chuckle, smile from Jesse, so I'm a little disappointed. But as far as this picture goes, it's awesome. Dubon kicking butt, lancing skeletons. I don't know what skeletons those are. They look really small, though. Are those the boss fight ones or something like that?
No, they're the graveyard. I think it's just the angle they're in. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, cool shot. I like, I always find it hard to pose the horses. Like, I have a hard time posing them to where they look natural. They always look just stiff and, I don't know, terrible. This looks really nice. I like that it looks like it's actually moving. He did a good job of kind of getting it posed to where it looks like it's, galloping through. So, yeah, nice job, Jeff.
I always like when somebody knows how to pose the wired capes. Like, that just makes more dynamic shots. The cape on Dubon is awesome, but I was actually drawn to the purple cape on the back skeleton, and then I was like, wait, he's also wearing shoulder pauldrons, and he's got a sword, and he's also given the gun fingers. I was like, I'm all about that skeleton in the back. So great shot.
Purple is a great color. All right. And I believe the last one for the day, and I just saw this right before we went live. I had to scramble to try to get it onto the slideshow. This is from insightful_imagery on Instagram. It is Michael John Duggar on Facebook. I saw this posted in the Cabal, and dude, this is so freaking good. I love everything about this. Snag is such a freaking great character. I think it's got to be my favorite goblin. Like, it is just such a great goblin, and just the story, the overall look of it, everything. I love this treasure chest. I'm not sure where that came from, or we were talking. I think it was last week, or it was on. Maybe, I don't know, it was on something that, I'm on too many shows, but where we were talking about, like, it'd be cool to just have some gold coins and stuff. So I don't know what this is from, but it's super cool, and I love it. The cell, too, looks like very dirty, rusty with cobwebs and stuff. This whole thing is just fantastic. I love everything about this.
If it wasn't for Curtis and the three of us already being on StreamYard before we went live, I wouldn't have known about this, and I jumped on IG as soon as he said, take a look at that. And then I saw behind the scenes on that the gold chest, and he did make that. Like, he got the gold chest. Cool. He got the chest part, and then he 3D printed a mound so he could have like a base, and then those are like tacks, gold tacks that glued onto the gold base, and it just looks like it's just pouring out. And then maybe a digi background, and it's like all this mounds of gold that Snag and the Goblin is going into. So fantastic.
Yeah. I love that. I'm 100% agree with you guys. For a second, I thought those were Lego, like the old pirate Lego gold coins, because I've looked at trying to get some of those to fill in chests. And I mean, clearly that's not what they are, but the for a split second I was like, oh, someone had the same idea I did. I'm not a complete moron. But then it wasn't. But yeah, I love this shot. I don't know. I don't think that other goblin is surviving this. I feel like Snag is kind of gonna Joker his way out of this scenario. Like
100%.
He's got something planned where maybe the gold isn't even the treasure. Maybe there's something he hid in the bottom of it, like some sort of special gem or super ultra rare item.
He may live through it, but he's not getting any cut of this.
No,
He's
no,
not
100%
getting any
not.
of it.
Yeah. This is a great shot. I love it. There's so much story going on here. I don't know the song, but the fact that it's called My Drip is just kind of making me giggle all the more as well. Yeah, great shot. I also saw this right before the show, but I had already had all my pictures in, so I didn't want to upset the apple cart as it was. But I'm glad you did, Curtis.
It was worth it. So,
Yes.
folks, with this Instagram as well as all the others we've shown tonight, if you are not following these folks, give them a follow because it'll make your Instagram so much cooler. And that is it for shelf selections or shelf shillelaghs.
Shelf shillelagh. Hey, that wasn't mine. Whippa. I wanted to ask, do you think the gold chest is being pulled out or is it being taken in?
Oh, no, it's being pulled out.
Pulled out.
Yeah.
I don't see, my opinion, so I could be totally wrong. I don't see King Noglin's treasure vault being that nicely made. Like I feel like it'd be a little more rough, a little more rustic, if you will.
I'm thinking that's like Army of Laodiceus.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
In Leandor.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, Jeff, welcome to the show.
I'm back. And it's just me.
Yeah, I mean, all my questions that I have are about your wife. So
that makes sense.
Because Curtis can't talk to anyone without talking about their wife.
They are the best parts of us.
He wouldn't be part of the "Our Wives Are More Popular Than Us" support group if that wasn't the case. So
always got to twist that screw a little bit more in the fact that I don't have a best part of myself. Thank you.
I mean, just think of it this way. You don't have somebody that is going to become more popular than you living in your own house. So in your own community.
I've got you, Curtis.
Yeah, I was going to say you got Curtis, Jesse.
Good point.
I mean, I can't ask you to go get me a drink or bring me a square of paper towels, but
square. Not a rectangle, square.
Yeah, Brian is 100% correct because anytime, like when I went to Mesquite, everybody's like, "Where's Darla at? Where's Darla?" You know, I told people I was going to Joe Lanta, and they're like, "Is Darla coming?" Like that's all anybody cares about. So, but that's all right. It's okay. It's okay that our wives are more popular than us because it just means that they are involved in this too, and that's cool. So,
absolutely agree.
Yeah, but Jeff, you've been in the community now for what, about 2 years? Is that right? Year and a half?
Over a year.
Yeah, it's a little more than that, right? Because it was before
February of last year.
February of last year. Yeah, so you're about getting about a year and a half. Okay. Yeah, my math's
the
off.
Song.
Maybe it is.
February of last year.
So you were initially kind of like, like really the cosmic guy. But I know you've also gotten into Figure Obscura. You've gotten into Mythics. You're collecting a lot of lines. So yeah, tell us a little bit about kind of how you got into this and like what your collecting looks like today.
As an adult collector, I guess it all starts in 2015. 2016. I'm living in Tacoma, Washington. I just signed the dotted line to join the Air Force. I did my basic training. I did my I did my schooling for the Air Force.
Hold on a second. Was that a cricket ring on your phone?
Yeah, I was cricket.
Okay. I thought that for a split second, I thought that Jesse played cricket sounds to your story. And I'm like, what a fucking big move. Like, I thought that you're sitting here telling a story and Jesse's playing cricket sounds. And I'm like, even I wouldn't do that.
Jesse, you got to add that to your soundboard now.
Definitely not adding that to the sound thing now. I mean,
all right. Sorry. Go. But I did want to pull up this from Joe. He says that your impact on the community has been years worth. So, but yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So I'm in the Air Force, and it's like the first free comic book day that I get to go do now that I'm back from basic training in school. That's the first Saturday of every May. If anybody doesn't know that. And I stumbled across a comic book store that's on Google Maps, but is not it's not open yet. And I didn't realize they're not open yet. And I start banging on the door and I start like trying to open it. So bad. And it was Stargazer Comics. That is my home away from home. It got me back into collecting as an adult. I had collected figures and comics here and there throughout the years, through college, through high school, and before that. But it wasn't until I started working at Stargazer Comics, and they had everything I could think of to start collecting. Not everything, not like indie toys, but they had the basics. And so I started with Marvel Legends. And from Marvel Legends, I went to Black Series. And then Black Series, I went to Mattel's DC Multiverse because McFarlane DC Multiverse wasn't out yet. And I was just doing every Build-A-Figure I could think of. And I loved collecting the waves to build the figure. And I was just piling of figures along with comics. And now I'm I'm probably like 20 lines deep in action figures, in at least 3 different military lines. I collect all the Horseman lines. I pick and choose, but I'm in multiple lines for sure. I was originally just going to collect stuff that was from my childhood. Like we all try.
What's your top 3 right now out of all the stuff that you're collecting? Top 3.
Cosmic Legions.
Okay.
McFarlane DC Multiverse.
With you.
And I'm going to say it's a toughie. Can I say it's a tie between Diamond Marvel Select, because I like the scaling with Legions and DC Multiverse, and it's tied with I guess Joe's, because
Classifieds.
Because I haven't. G.I. Joe Classifieds is that string back to my childhood, because I didn't have G.I. Joes growing up.
Oh, okay.
My toys were Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles by Playmates, Kenner Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters, and hand-me-down toys. I grew up with a lot of 1960s toys. I had the original, all my dad's stuff. So the 12-inch Joes, Major Matt Mason, Hot Wheels, Erector set, Lego, everything.
Now, did you know somebody that had Joes that you would like go over to their house or something? Because like that was something that I had as a kid. Like there were certain toy lines that I collected, and then certain toy lines that my friends collected, and then Like they would want to come over to my house and play with the stuff that I had, and I would go over their stuff and play. Like I never had a Voltron, right? But I knew my friends had a Voltron, so if I ever want to play Voltron, I go over to my friend's house. You know, like did you have somebody that you played Joes with, or no connection?
I wish there was a guy in the neighborhood. At that time in my life, we were living in a townhouse neighborhood, and everybody was like spread out. There wasn't a whole lot of kids that I was in school with in that neighborhood, except for there was one kid, Ryan Gunther. He was my best friend at the time, and we were into turtles, like mad into turtles. Like we would bring the turtles out. We would set up, live dios out in the backyard, and the turtles, as they got later on, they had booklets and they had catalogs, and we would just page after page after the catalogs and being like, oh, I want to check that one, I want to get this one for Christmas. Or
so did you coordinate? Like there were certain like obviously you both wanted to have like the turtles themselves, you got to have the turtles, but when it came to like the side characters, like that, like were there certain ones where you're like, I'm gonna get this one, you get that one, so that you guys didn't double up, or you just got whatever you wanted?
Got whatever we wanted, but I was always into the aquatic ones like Ray Fillet, Mondo Gecko, and he was more into like the Foot Clan and Shredder and Bebop and Rocksteady and the core villains, not like the obscure mutants. And mutants is ingrained in me. Like the X-Men. Any mutant type character I've never not been drawn to throughout my childhood and throughout my life.
So like Jesse, are you a X-Men Adventures fan? The cartoon?
Hold on, before you answer that, just to point this out, X-Men Adventures was the comic book companion to the original show, not the name of the show.
Were you a fan of the cartoon, like Jesse?
Sorry. Actually.
Yeah, my cart. I would say cartoons were first, toys were second, and it's now changed throughout my life. Cartoons was the big thing. Like it was less Saturday morning and weekday after school cartoons, and I would, you'd get off that bus, or later on in elementary and middle school, I was walking home from school. You just run to get to that television before that premiere of an episode, because this was pre-streaming, and if you're going to see that episode again, thankfully we have the internet now and we can watch and find whatever we want now.
We can stream all the Cops and Crooks episodes.
Yeah, like for the longest time, I only have one episode on a VHS that my dad recorded off a Saturday morning, and I just played that VHS throughout my life over and over. And I'm like, I'm gonna find the rest of this series one day.
Was it at least a good episode?
It's the one where the blimp. No, not the blimp one. It's Dr. Mad Vibes, Carnival one. With the girl who doesn't want to be known as a girl, so like a very androgynous character for a young cartoon or young kids cartoon. So yeah, that was the longest time that episode was my Cops and Crooks or Cyber Cops, because it was a re-showing of Cops after the Fox reality show, so they had to rebrand it to Cyber Cops. And so for the longest time, I would search Cyber Cops and nobody would know what Cyber Cops was, because
I've never even heard that it was ever referred to as that.
Yeah. So I couldn't find it for the longest time. And then somebody out there put it on Wikipedia that it was rebranded Cyber Cops. And then I could start to find what the whole cartoon and toy line from Hasbro was. Gotcha. But yeah, that was like a archaeological dig trying to find find out that throughout my life. But yeah, my afternoon cartoons was Joe's and Turtles in the late 80s, early 90s, and then we got into Batman the Animated Series. X-Men I don't think ever got after school. They were always Saturday morning, and then from X-Men to Spider-Man, and then after school was also Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. That was a big
Justice
thing.
League into Justice League Unlimited.
That was in the 2000s, but before
Yeah.
that we would have Superman, and Superman the animated series is where it all started with the lanterns for me.
Yeah.
And my Green Lantern is Kyle Rayner.
Interesting.
I didn't know anything about the lanterns until I saw that the Superman episode, Brightest Day and Blackest. I think it's in Brightest Day is the name of the episode, and Blackest Night is the episode in Justice League. And it's a comic book character who draws comic books in his day job and becomes a superhero endowed with a power to construct things based on what his imagination is, with his willpower. And that sold it all for me. Like, I want to be a comic book character. I want to be a superhero. I want to be an animator. And that was.
I think the cool thing about the lanterns was always like how their personality and who they are affects how their ring works, right? Like, you know, you got one of them that's kind of like more like engineering mindset, and so everything's like very tightly constructed, and one's like, and then one's like very kind of goofy off the wall stuff, and then you've got, you know, with Guy Gardner, you see like some of the anger and some of the, like, you know, that kind of thing, and then like you're saying with Kyle Rayner, so it's like, you know, how they are as people plays into how they use their ring, and it you know, and it's not, I don't even know that it's a, you know, like, well, I'm not going to do it like that guy, I'm going to do it like me. I think it's just like it becomes part of who they are, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And not just the Earth Lanterns, but when I looked into more of the core, the Green Lantern core, and you meet Kilowog and you meet Tomari and all these others, and the ring becomes a part of them, and they become a part of the ring, and they construct different things based on their culture, based on their planet. It's bizarre. Like, it's a wild ride. If you ever get into, if anybody out there has not seen the Green Lanterns, go check it out.
I was always a Kilowog guy. Like, seeing him on a comic book, it was like, I don't know what this thing is. Like, he's crazy looking, but it's like, dude, I love him. He's cool. And he was always training the other lanterns, and just, I don't know, he just looks so big and tough, and yet he's taking these people under his wing and teaching them and everything. So it's like a big teddy bear. So
yeah. I would say you guys are my Kilowogs. Like, you guys are taking me under your wings here and there. Show me how to stream. Show me how to be a part of the community. Like, that's what I feel. You guys.
So as you get into kind of the adult collecting side, and you get into, you know, not only collecting the toys, but then being part of a community and interacting with people and seeing people at shows and stuff. But can you talk a little bit about like what that does for you? Like, what is the feeling that you get from collecting and being part of a community? Like, how does that affect your life?
Well, I haven't. If anybody is out there who hasn't taken my wife's survey, go ahead and take it, because this question is probably on there. So I'm going to answer it live tonight. Being a part of a community, and not just a collecting community, but a community that has a common interest, brings a lot of love, a lot of respect, a lot of understanding. A mindset. We're not just playing with toys. We're not just putting ourselves out there financially. But we're, for me, it was I was in all these different collecting groups. I was in the Joe Facebook group. I was in the Marvel Legends Facebook group. But it wasn't until I joined the Mythic Legions Cabal and the Cosmic Cabal and the Figure Obscura Cabal that I saw a different group of people. Those we all are. I'm going to say we all are a different breed of collectors. We're not just ingrained in the toys, but we're also ingrained in each other's lives. I talk to you guys almost every day. We're in a chat together. I'm in a chat with 7 other guys that I met through the Cabal, and we call ourselves the Legions Collectors.
Who?
Yeah.
Other people? What?
Yeah.
I don't approve of that. I think you have to put the kiboshes on that. So
I've found some of my best friends now. You will all be in my lives for the rest of my life for the foreseeable future. And that brings me to a more personal thing that recently happened. I'm calling it the crisis. I know a lot of people.
It sounds very DC of you.
A lot of people called it the episode. A lot of people called it the I don't know. There was other names. But it was my father-in-law who called it a midlife crisis. And I just shortened it down to the crisis. Thank you all for reaching out to me during a time of crisis, a time of misunderstanding of things. I was in a really dark place, and you all were there for me. And the crisis of infinite jealousy. I haven't been able to talk about this to a lot of people, and I felt like this was the best place to talk about it because you guys have talked about mental health, which brought me to research. Last month was Mental Health Month of the year. So if anybody doesn't know, May is Mental Health Month. There is a mental health day, I believe, in November, which November holds place not only for Legions Con, but that's my birthday month.
Yep.
But yeah, it was a tough time. It was a rough time. But I got the help that I needed. I got the medication and the therapy that I needed. And you were all there for me before, during, and after. And I've never been a part of a community like that. I've been a part of communities where they were there, then they were not there, then they disappeared, and I'd never heard from them again because I was ostracized or I was not a part of the form and function of the community. But you guys held me up. You all showed that this is more than just toys. It's a family. Yeah,
I mean, we're a unique group of folks because we give each other shit. We make fun of each other. We're brutal with each other at times, but also when you need somebody, you know that those folks are going to be there for you, right? Like, you know that you can lean on them and they're going to be there. And we are part of community and we're not alone. And I know, one of our friends had posted something, recently about, kind of, people not caring about men's mental health and stuff. And I think there's, Jesse and I have talked about this in the past, but there's like this stigma of like, if you share things about your mental health or if you ask for help, that it means you're weak. And it's completely the opposite. Like, it is, if you are willing to talk about mental health issues, if you're willing to ask for help, if you're willing to lean on a friend, that shows true strength, because you're not being bogged down by the freaking macho bravado bullshit that's built into our culture that says that men can't have feelings, right? And it just shows that you can actually talk about these things. And I hear what you're saying as far as like this community and building friends that you like otherwise wouldn't have had. Like, there's pluses and minuses to the internet, right? Like if you're some whack job that has like some crazy beliefs or hatred towards other people or whatever, you're going to find people on the internet that think the same way you do. And that's not a good thing. But if you're someone like us that like, collects toys, and we feel this nostalgic feeling when we get a toy, and it mentally like takes us back to our youth and a simpler time, and and then you reach out online and you find out that there's other people that do that too. And it's like, oh wow, we like, I'm not just some crazy person that collects toys at 40 years old or whatever. Like there's other people out there that do that. Like I was talking a little bit in tongue in cheek a little bit on OffWorld, because when I was younger, when I was a teenager, I was kind of getting to that point where it wasn't cool to collect toys anymore, right? But then I had an uncle with Down syndrome that was in his 30s. He was still collecting toys. And I kind of at the time was like, man, I kind of wish I had Down syndrome. Like then I could keep collecting toys. Like that was in my mind. Like that's what I thought, was like, man, if I had this, I could keep collecting toys. But it's not cool for me to do it because I don't. And it's like, it's okay to do this stuff and have these feelings. And to me, it keeps you young. It brings a little bit of happiness to your life. And it's something that you can share with others. So yeah, I'm with you 100%. So yep. Jesse.
I feel bad because I meant to reach out to you earlier in the week to see if this was a subject you were comfortable talking about on the show.
Thank you.
So I'm glad you brought it up. I'm sorry I did not ask about it beforehand, because it's an important thing to be able to talk about. So the fact that you're able to, open up, at least be public about it to some extent. As comfortable as you are with it, that's a huge thing to be able to look at it, and you're poking fun at it, with the names and stuff, like in a playful way, but like that's one of those things. But you know what to call it now. You have a thing to reference. I know when I started doing counseling and therapy, and I was told that it was childhood PTSD from childhood trauma and these different things. I was like, I have something I can point to now, not to blame, but to identify like what this amorphous feeling I'm having is connected to something. Like I can start looking at where these things are. We were talking about friends, and how you were saying, Curtis, about one friend would collect these things and then you'd share the enjoyment. I had a friend, I cannot prove this, and I don't want to flat out call him a thief, but there was a friend I grew up with that was into Legos, who was not allowed to get Legos that came with guns. So he couldn't get the pirate and the what did they call them? The Imperial soldiers that were like kind of the whatever European soldiers or whatever, right? And I would see some of those figures in his house, in his collection, and I know he didn't have the sets they came from, and I was missing them. All that to say, just thinking about that brought up this weird thing to like back to my childhood, and I don't know where I was going with that, but there's just different things where being able to talk about it, finding, even if you don't know what, like sometimes Curtis and I will back and forth, like, hey, what's wrong? I don't know. I'm just having a bad day. Or, Curtis will ask me like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. Everything's just off. Like, I'll be okay. I know I will. Today just feels like I'm going through a blender full of gravel and sludge. I don't know how else to describe it or whatever. And, Curtis and other people, have been like, hey, we're here for you or whatever. So it's nice to know that, especially in this toy community, that we found, and hopefully it overlaps, and it's not just the people in the chat we were talking about or your 7 other friends in the other chat you're with, but like it making a joke, but that overlaps because like
the less
that's
cool
2
chat.
groups.
Yeah.
Well, no, but like that's like a second group, because there's people that are probably in that chat that aren't in the other chat, or and then there's someone in that chat's going to overlap into another chat, and like hopefully it's just this whole big Venn diagram of all of us. That's the circles, Curtis, that overlap each other.
I know what that is.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Where it's just this huge, for lack of a better word, like spider web network of people, where hopefully people can find different portions of the community to plug into and find different people to latch onto. And that they're giving back. It might not be a constant, give and take, but like if you're taking, make sure you're giving back and not always taking. And I know we were pulling this up. Curtis has got one up now from Rob Zamora, $1.99 super chat. Jeff, we are all here for you. Love you, my brother. And I don't know if you saw it. You were talking. I didn't want to distract you, but I wanted to pull them up while they were coming in. There's lots of love and support coming in from the chat for you.
Thank you, Chat. Thank you, community.
Yeah. I mean, and I know a few weeks on OffWorld, we kind of had a nice talk after the show. We had a little green room talk. Me, you, Blake was there, Joe, Gonzalez, and kind of shared some stories. But I'll just kind of open up and just share some here. Like, it's been about 12 years ago now. Like, I had like a complete breakdown. I was having panic attacks. I got diagnosed with a panic disorder. I was off work for several months. I basically became, not basically, I did become agoraphobic, which I do know because I had it. That's the only reason I know a big word. So I couldn't leave my house, and I was petrified. Like if I left my house and somebody I knew saw me, what would they think? Because I was off work for a few months and stuff. It's like, I don't have a broken leg. I don't have a broken arm. I'm not in a wheelchair. I'm not in the hospital. I'm not hooked up to machines. Like, what do I say to people when like I haven't been off, that I'm not there, like I'm not at work. It's a smaller town. Like pretty much, half the town worked for the place that I worked for. Mm-hmm. So it was like, everybody knew everybody. Everybody was also sleeping with everybody, but that's a whole side story. It was just one of those things where I just like was so locked up, and it all stemmed from the fact that I had one really bad day. I had a day where I didn't get a promotion that I was working for. I didn't get it because the person that got it was sleeping with the guy that was doing the hiring, which I wasn't willing to do. So I lost out on promotion. I came home, and my wife at the time, not Darla, my ex, was like curled up in a ball in the bed. She had been abusing pain medicine and, did some not great things. I had to get her checked into rehab, and she was filling some prescriptions in my name and, pretending to be the doctor's office, calling in prescriptions, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And like, I found out about it. All this stuff was going on without me knowing it. And so I had to check her into rehab. And then I'm trying to figure out, like, I'm working nights and she's going to be in rehab. And what do I do with the kids? And I got to pick them up from school. So I'm trying to go to pick them up. And then my car ran out of gas, and I was like 2 miles away from the closest anything. And so I'm like walking to try to get a gas can. And meanwhile, my kids are getting off, and I'm not there to pick them up. And I don't even know the number to the school because I never go to the school. Like, it was just a whole thing. It was just a very bad, terrible day. And it led me to a place where I was like, all these things that I felt like I was in control of, I'm not in control of. There's so many things that are out of your control. And I was worried about all of it. I was trying to carry the weight of the world on my shoulders. And, what I figured out through the whole process is that, it's not all on you. Like, you can't control what other people are doing with their life. You can't control decisions that your boss is making. You can't control all these other things. You can't worry about the mistakes that you've made in the past because they're already done and you can't fix them. You can't worry about what things may happen in the future because that stuff hasn't happened yet. You just got to kind of live for today. And you got to, appreciate the moments, appreciate the, nature. Like, that was something I started looking at, like clouds. Like, I would just walk outside and I would just go, wow, look at these clouds. Like, it's just a nice day out. Look how pretty this is. And I wasn't doing that before. And, you just got to change your outlook on life. And, that helped me. And slowly I got through it and I got back to work. And, I know I've talked about on this show about how I didn't make it to the Legions Con that I wanted to in 22 because I was just afraid of going and seeing people and what people would think of me and all this and that. And then you finally get there, you finally get to Legions Con. You're like, wait a minute, like all these people are great. I love them. Like I should have done this a year ago. I don't ever want to miss this. Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, like that community can do that stuff for you, but you just got to realize that A, you're not in control of everything. So don't try to put all that pressure on you. And B, you're not doing this alone. Like there's people here that love you and care about you. And we all need somebody at some point. So don't be too freaking macho and bravado to fucking ask for help. So that's kind of my story.
Yeah. We were coming off of the Baethier amazement, and we had just done the telethon, and it was the Tuesday after the telethon, and like I don't know if like I had like an adrenaline rush or like an endorphin rush, but like come Tuesday, granted there were things behind the scenes happening financially and personally in the family weeks prior to that Tuesday, but that Tuesday it was one bad day, like you said, and it all came crashing down.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I was like, I don't know who to talk to. I don't know where to go. I just know that I'm drowning, and I'm thinking I'm drowning. I'm feeling I'm drowning, so I might as well go drown.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not good. That you should not get. Anybody should not get to that point. Like I would say, don't get to that point. Definitely keep your cell phone on you, and definitely reach out to somebody and just say, hey, what are you up to? What's going on? Like talk to them. Don't tell them exactly what you're feeling right away, but open that line of communication. And I did not. I decided to break all communication. And
sorry to interrupt, but like and I know I've talked to you since then, but what you didn't know at the time was there was a bunch of people that were concerned for you. Like there were, we had a group call on Messenger where we're interacting and kind of brainstorming, trying to figure out things. And, does anybody have his phone number? We're trying to call you. We're trying to message you through Facebook. And then, Chris James went to your neighborhood and is looking for you. And people are, trying to, post about the situation, see if anybody's heard from you or what's going on. Like there was a lot of folks that were like really concerned. And I know at that time, if you're anything like I am at that time, you're feeling like, man, I'm not making a difference. I'm not, whatever. You get to that point where you're like, man, is the world better off without me? And it absolutely is not. It's 1000% not. And there's so many people that were like just loving for you and loving you that day and just wanting everything to turn out okay. And unfortunately, like you said, you didn't have the communication tools to be able to receive that love. But just know it was there.
And I read it all.
And
I read all. Go ahead, Jesse.
No, go ahead, Jeff.
I read all the love afterwards. After I was hospitalized, after I got the help that I needed. I read all the love, and I read all the stories people had shared with me. I got a lot of stories from people in the community that they have gone through this, that they have experienced things like this on their own. And it was a mutual like sharing of stories and ideas and how they coped with it and how I could cope with it in the future. And it was a lot of love. It was honestly a lot of love poured my way. Not to say that all the comments were great. There were a few, especially a few that were sent to my wife when I wasn't around that were very bizarre. But at the same time, we got through them. Like, just skirt those comments away. But maybe those people who made those comments didn't know how to say what they wanted to say, and they sent them in an off-color way. Who knows? It's all in the past. But where was I going? Oh, there was one comment, and I got it from Jeremy Gerard, and he said, just exactly what you said, Curtis. If you feel that there isn't any reason to be in this world is not worth it without you in it. And he said that from the studio. And I was like, wow. On behalf of the Four Horsemen Studios, Jeremy Gerard reached out and commented that, you know, this is bigger than me. This is more than you know. I was touched the moment I read that comment, that message to me, and really put to home that this is the community I want to be a part of for the rest of my life.
For sure.
Because that's, I think some of the thing there is, sorry, my mic's doing a really weird thing. It's almost like It's a Wonderful Life. If you've seen that movie, like he doesn't see all the good he's bringing into the lives of the people around him until he sees what it's like without him. And it's like every day, like I talk to my therapist about this sometimes, and like I just feel like I'm not doing this, I'm not doing enough to help, blah 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 blah. And she's like, well, look at what you do in the community you're a part of. And I'm like, well, that's just, she's like, no, don't undermine it. She's like, if you're making a positive impact on anybody, and we don't always see the good impact that we do, because you usually don't see it, especially if you're not looking to get like the recognition for it, if you know what I mean, like or if it's stuff that doesn't generate that kind of a response, if that makes sense. And I don't know if I'm making any sense, but it's
No, you're totally making sense. I mean, I can tell you like 1,000% fact that I'm a better person for having known you, so like, just I understand that's one person, but like, we all have impact on the people around us, and you hope that you're putting more good into the world than you're taking out, So,
and because Curtis knows you, and I know Curtis, and I know you, it's all a lot of positivity.
It's that whole overlap thing we were talking about a few minutes ago. It's just, that unless you're seeking to get that recognition and praise and approval from people, you don't see the good you're putting out. Generally, you might never know the impact you had on someone's life, until years down the road, if at all. Even if you're not intentionally trying to, there's always that story we used to hear in church growing up about the kid that was throwing the starfish into the ocean, and the guys, they'd washed so many up. Have you guys heard that one?
Can't say I did.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite stories, but yeah.
It's this kid, he's walking along the beach and he's just throwing starfish back into the ocean because there'd been some sort of big tidal surge and all the starfish were up in the sand and they were dying. And this guy comes along and he's like, kid, what are you doing? You're not going to make a difference. He picks one up, chucks it into the ocean. He's like, I made a difference for that one. And so it's, that was a very crude version of the story, but
the moral of it is like, yeah, you could sit there and look at it, and you could look at all those starfish and go, man, like there's too many. Like I can't make a difference. Like I'm not, but all it takes is making the difference for one of them, right? Like if you make the difference for one person, that's enough. So yeah, it's a great story. I love that one.
Definitely. Yeah. I'll never forget that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's a lot of places, I know Curtis shared this with me a couple of years ago, or I don't remember it. I in the best of ways, Curtis, I feel like I've known you forever.
Yeah.
Like, even though it's only been
151 episodes.
151.
Like 2022 was really when we connected, like early 22. We had been messaging, and then we both started doing stuff with Legion Shop around the same time and started connecting more and more. So it's only been really 3 years. And, but that's how much of an impact you've made on my life. And I said that, and I mean that in the best of ways. I'm not making double-handed, back-sided compliment or whatever it's called. But you shared something where it was a real short video, which I appreciate real short videos. When there's a message to get across, despite me rambling about it, where it was like, sometimes you just need 8 minutes to reach out and like, hey, you know, and we've done this once or twice since then. We were like, hey man, I just need to talk for 8 minutes, and just that little bit of a, for lack of a better word, lifeline, that connection, that tether to someone. It might not make the day better, but it lets you remember that you're connected to people. And, you know, so folks watching, Jeff, anybody, if you have something you need to, like, just be like upfront, like, hey, you know, I need 8 minutes, you know, and I don't think it was like an exactly 60-second count, but just like a short time span to just feel that reconnection, and is important. So try to find someone you can have that with, and you just be like, hey man, I need 8 minutes. And, you know, if you can excuse yourself from work, you know, and hopefully if it's a friend, they'll understand. If you're like, hey, I'm working, you know, can I call you on my lunch break, or give me 20 minutes where I can take a break or something, like, you know what I mean. But anyway, I really appreciated that, and I want to share that out with everybody.
Yeah, I do want to kind of touch on that real quick, but we do have a super chat that we have not gotten to. Eddie, $2 super chat says, live in the moment, mindfulness and gratitude. Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the super chat. The thing that I would say with that, you know, kind of the 8 minute thing is it doesn't take much, right? Like, and I know, I don't want to speak for all guys. This is not Curtis on behalf of all men everywhere. But I think generally guys have this mindset where it's like, here's a problem, we need to come up with a solution, right? Like here's a problem, we need to come up with a solution. And women have this thing where it's like, here's a problem, and I want to talk about how I feel about this problem, right? And sometimes that's very frustrating, because like, if you're with a woman and you're like, man, there's a real easy solution to that problem. You know, we could just fix that problem. And that's not it. They don't want to fix the problem. They want to talk about the problem. But I think as guys, sometimes we just need to talk about the problem. Like sometimes we don't. And I think that can be an issue though, because like you'll reach out to a friend and it's like, I got X, Y, and Z going on. And like your friend may go, well, have you tried this? Have you tried that? And it's like, yes, I've tried these things, or no, yes, I'm going to try those things, but that's not what I need. I just need you to listen to me for, 8 minutes. I just need you to understand what I'm going through, just for a few minutes. And so, for us, I think sometimes it is taking that step back and if somebody needs to vent, if they need to talk, they need you to lend your listening ear. It means, as much as it is difficult, especially for me to do, shut the fuck up and just listen. So
if I can interject real quick to that, I found trying to, like, if someone's like, hey man, I need, be like, hey, do you want me to give you advice? Do you want me to listen for advice? Or do you want me to just hear what you're saying? Like, cause sometimes people say stuff and I'm like, are you wanting me to, like, are you just venting? Cool. I'll vent with you. Yeah. That person sucks, or that situation sucks, or whatever. It's horrible. Or are you looking for input on what you should do? And like you said, for guys, it's very easy for us to like slip into that. Well, have you tried doing this? Did you put a hairdryer to it before you started pulling it apart? Did you do, joking, kind of bring it back to toys a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But
don't break your toys.
Yes. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes it's hard for me to talk about stuff because like I don't know how to tell you I feel, other than when you put your socks on and that little seam is on the side of your little toe and it throws off how your foot feels the whole day. That's how I feel in my body today. Well, how do I advise you on that? I'm like, I don't know. I just wanted to tell you that's how I feel. And I don't know how to deal with this, and everything's making me angry, and it's making me walk faster, which is making my shirt flare out, which is getting caught on the door and hooking it and ripping a hole in it, which is just adding. And it's just that whole, I mean, I'm not going to get all crystals and spacey, but like not that kind of spacey, lowercase spacey. Like your energy, the energy you put off, like attracts similar energy. Like if you're in a bad mood, bad things are going to keep happening, like, because you're not looking at the good stuff. that is there, even if the bad, like it's not to undermine the bad stuff. The bad stuff's real. We have to acknowledge and deal with it. But if you're only looking at the bad stuff, you're not going to see the good stuff that's coming around you. And it's real easy to stay focused on the negative stuff.
Well, and just to kind of touch on what you were talking about there a second ago, with the heating up your figures, just want to say that Darla did break a pauldron on her armory night. I want to let everybody know this because she broke it in a way that I've never seen anybody break apart before. Like basically the peg that goes into the back of the figure, it's like just like sheared off. Like she went to go take the pauldron off and it just like completely, so the peg is still in there. The peg is there. Pauldron is separated. I don't know how somebody does it, but she figured out a way. So, which was definitely the point of Jesse's story. I did want to pull up a couple chats here. Rob Zamora says that he is in that the second coolest chat group that Jeff is involved in, OffWorld being the first, obviously. It says in that second coolest group, he's in there and he's about to hit his 5-year sobriety. He doesn't think that he would have reached that mark without the guys in that chat. He doesn't think that they know this. So congratulations, Rob. I know, that's a huge thing. He also then follows up and says, but it's truth. There has been many days recently in the past year where I felt like I was going to relapse, but speaking to these guys daily has got me through the toughest days. Just talking toys. Like that's real shit. That is, that's awesome. MJ says, wow, Rob, 5 years. That's amazing. I've been sober going on a year. Thank you for sharing. Your 5 years gives me hope. So awesome stuff. And then just a lot of folks, congratulations to Rob in the chat and MJ. And then we got this one here. Sometimes I want somebody to spell out what I'm doing wrong. Well, yeah, that can work too.
You can definitely ask somebody to spell something out wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. If you ask someone, especially if it's another dude that knows you. Now, I will say this. They're probably going to give you it. It might be, a straight shot truth, but it might come way harder than you want it to. Purple Gang, do not clip that. This is serious talk. I heard it when I said it, but I couldn't stop myself before it happened. And I'm a huge proponent. I know, like Chris, you were saying, not everything works the same for everybody. Like you could have two people that grew up in very similar homes that have very situations and have totally different life experiences and mental health situations to where, oh, hey, I do, like me personally, I started doing therapy. Therapy led to a light dose of a antidepressant anxiety medication. That has been a huge help. It's helped me with like that drowning feeling you were talking about, Jeff. It helped me feel like I was at least on the solid ground and not with where I could stand in the water with my head above the waves and at least breathe. And between the therapy, the medication, this community, and for me personally, with my family and my faith and everything has helped move me further up into the land and back on solid ground where, the water is not really a problem. But, all that to say that I think, looking into when I first heard that I needed to take medication, I had like a complete meltdown. Like I was like, well, that's it. I'm going to be on drugs for the rest of my life. And I'm never going to I'm going to lose this whole side of my personality. Cause that's what I heard those medications do to you. It's like they rob you of your personality. You guys know me. I'm not saying it's a great personality, but I've got a lot of it. It's still there. I don't feel like the medication has tampered that, but talking with a professional, like I said earlier, about being able to pinpoint the conditions, the situation. So I know like that's a thing. It's, I don't get that one.
That's you talking to a professional.
Hey, I don't lay on a couch, sit in this very chair, use this very camera. But no, but just having that person to talk to who knows the medical technical side of the issues, and eventually discovering, the ADHD diagnosis and all this stuff. Like it's like, oh my gosh, that makes so much of my past life not blame anything or give excuses, but that gives me like a foundation to understand so much of what my life was growing up that I didn't have the words to put to it. I thought I was just an idiot,
For different
but that was
reasons,
my
it may still be. I mean, both things can be true.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The things I thought I was an idiot for back then, I now know most of them are because of those things.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any closing thoughts on this? I know we wanted to talk about some trailers that you guys had me watch before this, but any other mental health closing thoughts from anybody?
Bringing it back to toys. I've been in a lot of different communities, like I said, but I could never get that connection. And a community that doesn't have a connection is I don't know how that could be a community, because you have to find that common ground. You have to find that connection, and that is what I found in a very short amount of time in the last year and a half. And it's touched me. Like I've always told everybody I wear my heart on my sleeve. I don't have very much armor put around me, but it's been very eye-opening, learning other people's stories, like Rob, like MJ, like you, Curtis, and Jesse, and Joe G and Blake that one night. It's more than I could ever say that I would ever come across before, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for everyone.
Absolutely.
We're grateful for you.
I mean, I think I mentioned it to you at one point a few weeks ago, but you're kind of like my Gilligan to my Skipper, right? Like I want to strangle you a lot, but at the same time, you're my little buddy. So yeah.
Well, it's that whole sibling thing, right? Where it's like, yeah, I'll beat up on my sibling. Well, I didn't. I was the one that got beat on. But if someone else challenged you and your siblings were around, you're like, no, you do not touch my little brother or my whatever,
I've never really talked about it with a therapist or somebody that I should talk to, but I guess I've always searched for that older brother, because I've never had the older brother. I've always I'm the oldest of three, and I only have two younger sisters. I was always the guy in the family. I always had to be that stand up, the guy, the only guy.
Yeah.
I had cousins and younger cousins later on, but I never had that older brother person in my life. So I've always gravitated to young or older dudes, and I've always found that I have that Gilligan or not that Gilligan, that Skipper.
Well, like it or not, you've at least got two older brothers here between us. So from me, that means Wet Willies and Noogies at Legion's Comic Show, so.
That makes sense.
I pulled up these comments, but I want to just kind of read through these. So Rob Zamora says, yes, talk to a professional therapist. Some people don't because they think they can't afford it, but there are a lot of companies out there that will work with you. That is 100% correct. And then Eddie says he struggled with depression for 5 years. He was isolated, didn't do anything, went from 190 to 500 pounds, found himself. He worked through his mental health and overcame it and changed his life. So, awesome, Ed. I'm glad that you got the help that you needed. Joe, of course, says that he's too macho to talk about his weaknesses. Joe is also the man who says that he has never cried in his life. So, with the exception of I Am Legend when the dog dies. So,
and when I stepped at his foot at Legion's Con.
Yeah, and for some reason on Independence Day, where all the freaking idiots on the rooftop get killed, which like they totally deserve because they're stupid, but for some reason that makes Joe sad. So I don't know. $5 super chat from Brian Carr. Pretty new to the community, but is full of the most amazing people he's ever met. Always reach out, always talk. We need each other. That is correct. So,
Brian, you're no longer new to the community. you are well known in the community. So,
William says, William says, people go through difficulties up to the rest of us who are out of our tiny little minds to remind and it's normal. So, yep. Okay. So I know we wanted to talk about some trailers you guys made me watch. So, which one we doing first? Which one?
I'm going to go with Frankenstein first.
Let's start with the teaser first.
Oh,
Okay. No, we'll do that. Guest choice.
Both the ones I watched said teaser, so I may have watched the wrong thing, but all right.
Well, I feel like the Frankenstein one gives us a lot more, and the other one is more of just like a lot of old stuff with a tiny sample of what's to come. So let's start with Frankenstein.
We'll start with Frankenstein.
So I'm a big Guillermo del Toro fan. I've always liked Pan's Labyrinth. I've liked his Blade 2. He carries around a notebook. And he has different notebooks, I think, per film. So he has notes and
That's usually what's in a notebook. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like scribbles and it's like his own shorthand. And that knowing that about the director brings me back to Dr. Victor Frankenstein. And how he had all those like drawings and pictorials in his lab, and I could just see, okay, that is Guillermo. That's Guillermo's lab. We're gonna see Guillermo's lab in a Frankenstein story. It's just gonna be awesome. So, yeah, I can't wait.
When I saw that trailer, because I didn't know that this was a thing. Like, I think I've heard Dylan talking about it at one point, but I had not seen anything for it. Because Dylan loves this shit. I gotta say that trailer blew me away. Like, it's really well done. And part of why I love the figure obscura is that either they'll put out a character that I know nothing about, like zero, and I have to learn about him from scratch, or they put out something that I think I know about, but then through the process I learned so much more about it that I didn't know was there. And I think Frankenstein's creature is one of those. Through the figure obscura, I learned a whole lot more about it through that process. So now seeing this trailer, like, it just hits harder. Like, I think that had I seen this a couple years ago before that figure obscura was out, I would have been like, okay, that's cool. But like, after like reading through the little write-up that they did and the little booklet that comes with it, and when I say read, I mean Darla reading to me, and just kind of hearing some of the commentary from folks, and then seeing that trailer, I was like, wow, this is something cool, man. Like, this is really good. And who's the guy that's playing Victor?
Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, I was like, thank goodness he's not in a shitty Star Wars movie. Like, because like, he actually can be a good actor when he's not in a shitty Star Wars movie. So he looked excellent.
I would argue
I liked him in
he's
Ex Machina.
great in Star Wars. Just the movies aren't great. I didn't
like. Well, I'm not going to say I didn't like his performance. I didn't like his character. Like, his character was just like,
okay.
I don't know. It's like they tried to bottle up what made Han Solo cool and then tried to like redo that. And it's like, no, it just comes across like whiny and impetuous and, yeah. So
fair enough.
Anyhow. But I thought the trailer was amazing. I love the fact that you didn't see too much of the creature. Like, they didn't, do like, because he's kind of got like this hood thing, and he didn't like pull it back. You didn't get to see everything. They saved some. So I'm excited. Jesse?
I'm also super excited. I have not enjoyed all the stories that Guillermo del Toro has made. but all of the movies are beautiful. Like I personally didn't care for Shape of Water or what was that last Nightmare Alley or something like that. It was like the carnival one.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
Beautiful movies, beautiful performances. Just the stories didn't land for me.
Yeah, some of the don't land.
And the Pinocchio one, I didn't quite care for the Pinocchio one. That again, beautiful animation, beautiful acting, like all that stuff. But anyway, I'm super excited for this. I think Oscar Isaac is a fantastic actor. I think the first thing I saw him in was the 2010 Robin Hood, where he's playing Prince John, and he was in the Nativity Story as Joseph. And then, now he's been in Star Wars and Moon Knight and so much other stuff. Ex Machina is a fantastic movie. I haven't watched that in a while, but
he was a very
chilling
terrible
movie to watch.
Though we can't forget that. So
I can.
Yeah. We would like to forget it, but I don't think we can.
I think his performance was good, but that movie was garbage overall.
All right. But yeah, I'm excited. Now I know you guys said that it was being done by Netflix. Does that mean it's going to be a straight to Netflix thing? Like, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting because
there's another
to me that has like theatrical release written.
There's another Frankenstein movie being in production at the same time, which I believe is part of the Universal Monsters Dark Universe. Mm-hmm. This is separate because Guillermo can do. Yeah.
When is it? Do we know when it's supposed to drop?
This fall is all I saw.
Okay. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think November. Yeah, this fall. So.
All right. And next one.
Eric says Pinocchio is a cinematic masterpiece.
Okay.
I watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, Antler! I saw Antlers. That movie is one of the most depressing things I've ever watched. Captivating, but utterly depressing. And I'm not trying to make fun of anything. Clearly, based on the conversation we just had, that's a rough movie. Like that's one I watched that movie. I'm like, I need some warm, fresh made chocolate chip cookies and a hug, and maybe to someone throw my blanket in the dryer for a few minutes and snuggle up. And yeah, Curtis.
Sorry, this is off topic. Before we get to the other teaser, trailer, whatever it is, I wanted to bring this up. This came up on OffWorld the other night, and I meant to ask you about this, Jesse, because you don't show up for OffWorld anymore because you hate us. There was a movie on the This Week in Theaters that I was thinking about checking out, and it's an animated. It feels like it's like right up your alley. So I wanted to see if you've seen this and if you would recommend me watching it. It's called Quest for Camelot. Have you seen that?
It's
Quest for Camelot.
It's not amazing.
Okay.
But it has, I think that's Don Bluth. I think that's Bluth Studios.
It had like an interesting sound to it. It's got like a two-headed dragon and a gal and a guy, and they're searching for King Arthur's sword, or, Excalibur, and I don't know. It sounded like a Jesse type movie, and I was like, I wonder if he's seen it because I'm trying to see if it's worth watching.
Yeah, so, it's entertaining. It's just not like Disney level. It's not. Okay. It's not the most amazing.
I feel like based on the artwork that I know I'm aware of, I forgot that that's what it was called. I don't remember if I saw it or not.
The artwork kind of reminded me of the old Dungeons and Dragons cartoon.
Well, it's definitely one of the artists. Is it Don Bluth?
I thought it was because he did. They did the Penguin's Pebble or something right before it or after
Pebble
it.
and the Penguin.
Pebble and the Penguin.
All right. Well, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
If there's anybody,
it's got a great voice cast.
Let me know what you think if anybody in the chat has seen that and if you like it or dislike it. So,
I think the things I'm seeing here real quick is that it was like one of the death of the non-Disney animated musicals. So like the artists that I worked on it definitely look like they're people who came out of the the Disney stable of artists.
Well,
Yeah.
Rob says hard pass. He says don't waste your time. So there you go.
Don Bluth did Dragon's Lair too. Dragon's Lair. Was
Yeah.
cool animation.
Because he broke off from Disney like in the mid 80s or early 80s. And he like his stuff was very I think that's who I'm thinking of. Anyway,
Eric,
I think one of his first projects was Land Before Time, because Spielberg wanted to do an animated movie, but he didn't want to do it with Disney, and DreamWorks Animation wasn't around yet. So Don was like, "Well, I'm starting this new studio up. Let's start working together."
Eric, it's called Quest for Camelot. I'm trying to see if it's worth watching, but Rob says no. So if anybody thinks differently, let me know.
Secret of Nim is fantastic. That was the first animated thing I think I saw that swore. Well, maybe not the first, because I know they swear in Transformers, but it was an animal, and that stood out to me, that an animal swore, not a human.
Yeah, that's not right. Animal swearing. That's just bad parenting. So, Jeff, you want to tell us what our other trailer was, or teaser?
We are getting the final season in 3 parts of Stranger Things.
And this is part 2?
No, it's chapter 5. And so chapter 5 and 3 volumes.
And this is one of the 3?
Well, it shows bits and pieces probably from all 3.
Okay.
But we're getting number 1. I think volume 1 is November 26th or November 6th, I think. And then volume
26th.
2, 26th. Volume 2 is Christmas, and then volume 3 is New Year's. So
they're kind of like back to back to back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's years apart or 6 months or something. Okay.
Yeah, because a lot of people were like saying, "Wow, it feels like a decade." This.
Yeah, these kids should be like way old by now.
I believe they're doing a time jump.
Oh.
I thought it looked really good. The only thing I did, like the blood curdling scream at the very end of the teaser, I could have done without. Like, that doesn't really add anything for me. But the rest of the teaser I thought was really good. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'll agree with the Will scream. Like, okay, we've been hearing you scream since the very beginning. We don't need you to scream now. But based on that curdling, I can't wait to see what monsters they have in store for us in the very end. Like, are they gonna delve more into the D&D monsters, or are they gonna come up with a new 80s-esque monster?
I mean, for Joe Gonzalez's sake, I just hope it's a Motu Vecna. Like, with the spider / crab armor. I think that would be the way
that's why we have that figure.
Right. Yeah. I want to see the Motu version, though.
Yeah.
So just for Joe, where it's got
gotta wear the crab armor.
Yeah, and the dongs in the background thing. So Jesse.
I'm looking forward to it in a way. I feel like I remember when that show started, I saw trailers for it like in the movie theater that summer, and I was super excited for it. I feel like Curtis has got a grin on his face. Oh,
just Joe.
And I really enjoyed it. I was just getting into playing D&D myself, so like getting to see kids in the 80s playing D&D while I was starting my D&D adventures was kind of a nice little twist, of fate. Like, I missed out on it then, so I get to relive what I might have been like at that time, although they're a little older than I would have been in the setting of the show. But I liked it. I feel like the longer it's taken between seasons, like, my enjoyment of it has decreased a little bit, because it's been so far now. It's been like, I don't want to go back and rewatch everything to get caught up. Season 4 was a little disappointing to me. I think it ended strong. Just the first half of it was pretty weak. So I'm glad that the gaps on this one are only like a month apart. with the finale being on New Year's Day. I kind of wish they would have done kind of like how Andor did, or some of these other shows where they'll release like 2 or 3 episodes a week, and instead of all at once. I like kind of that build up, but there's at least things to talk about for more than just the weekend it comes out and then we can forget about it, which the earlier seasons had that problem. If they, so I'm excited for it. I want to see how it wraps up. My mind is thinking like I can't think of a bigger villain in D&D lore than maybe Tiamat. So if they did some sort of upside down, Stranger Things version of a 5-headed dragon, or what they would throw in as a Tiamat, would be really exciting. But I'm happy to see the chapters close.
Does Tiamat like talk, or is there like is it just kind of like a big bad that's like doesn't talk?
I believe most of the dragons talk are.
Go ahead.
I believe most of the dragons in D&D, like the full scale dragons, are like conscious sentient beings with the ability to speak, or at least mentally communicate.
Because I just feel like whatever the big bad is going to be, I feel like there's going to be some sort of psychological component to it, to where it's going to be more than just a big scary thing, right? Like I think there's going to be something else with it. So I think whatever it is, we'll have to have the ability to communicate, I think. Otherwise, I think that is a little bit more difficult. So
I could definitely see the more mental communication. Like I don't want to see like a upside down dragon talking, but like if it's talking via mind, that'd be cool.
Or I think they might have done this already, but like how they like communicate through like their pawns and stuff, or maybe it's to where like it's speaking through like hundreds of people in the town, or this like. I don't actually expect it to be a 5-headed dragon, but something that, like the Demogorgon is this giant, like double-headed baboon thing.
Yeah.
That's big. So, they don't look quite like their actual D&D counterparts, but
I just feel
like Vecna is definitely going to play a part.
It's got to be something like terrifying, So, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm just gonna throw this out here real quick because sometimes I can be a giant hypocrite, and I'm just gonna say that this is one of those instances here, because I give the Star Wars people shit a lot, because sometimes they get a lot of stuff, right? They're spoiled. They're kind of like the East Coast folks with their toy shows. They get all these toy shows and they just get spoiled with it, right? Star Wars people get spoiled with how much stuff they get. And then they complain about, I didn't like this and I didn't like that. And the Disney's ruining it and they're doing this stuff. And it's like, just shut up and enjoy it. Like if you watched this as a kid, I bet you would love it. But because you're an old fart, you don't love it because you're just old and cranky. And maybe you just need to enjoy life a little bit more. So that's usually my take on the Star Wars people, because they're just not appreciative of what they have. That being said, the older I get, I just can't deal with kids doing stupid shit in a movie. Like it just bothers me to no end, man. Like I go and watch, like when I watch Stranger Things or I watch any of these shows with like kids and stuff, and I'm like, God, these kids are so freaking stupid. I just want it drives me crazy seeing kids. But if I watched it as a kid, I would have been like, yeah, this is cool. Like what was the Star Wars one with the kids and they're like,
Skeleton Crew.
Yeah. Like I watched that and it was okay. I kind of enjoyed it. I had a good time, but there were many, many times throughout that I was like, man, somebody needs to just teach these kids a lesson. They need to bring back spankings, but if I was a kid watching it, I know I would have loved it. Right. And I feel like that kind of way with Stranger Things. Sometimes the kids just get on my nerves and I'm just like, I feel like I'd enjoy this show a lot more if it was adults. So,
yeah, but now that they're in their like 20s, are you still going to consider them kids?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think now I may actually enjoy the finale more because they are older. We'll see. But like we're watching, Darla and I just watched this show on Netflix. I believe it's called Instant Family with
Yes.
Marky
Mark
Mark.
Wahlberg.
And he didn't have the Funky Bunch with him, but he was in there. And
Hawk Girl's in that.
What's that?
Yes. Yep.
Hawk Girl is in that from the new Superman and Peacemaker.
Or
Gotcha.
Dina in The Last of Us.
Sorry,
Yeah, she was
Dora
in
the Explorer.
Yeah.
Dora the Explorer also.
Yeah. And so they like basically like take in these foster kids and stuff. Well, one of the kids is just like an imbecile. Like this guy, like his kid is like dropping shit all the time. He's like knocking shit over, breaking stuff. And then he like starts crying. And I get it. Like these kids have gone through some terrible shit and stuff. But I'm like at one point, he's like getting ready to like shoot a nail into his hand. Like he's like holding a board and he's going to like use a nail gun to shoot a nail into it. And like, they're like, no. And so then he like gets scared and just drops it. And the nail gun like falls down and shoots a nail right into his foot. And I'm like, no, like this kid, he's got to go. I can't deal with stupidity. Like I'm just done. So yeah, go ahead, Jesse.
That annoys me for the fact that nail guns don't do that. It takes a very specific set of choices to make a gun be able to do that automatically, like on accident. So that annoys me because they even did that in one of the Lethal Weapon movies where he's like shooting the guy with the gun. He's like, oh, nailed him. I'm like, no, nail guns don't work like that. Like there's no air compressor hooked up to it. They had not invented the battery powered ones yet. No. That said, that kid was me. So like, I'm glad I wasn't your kid.
the clumsy kid that just did. Yeah. Well, and I was too. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like when I was a kid, I would have looked at that and go, oh, that's cool. That kid is clumsy like I am and stuff. But as an adult, I'm like, God, this kid is just like, just knock it off. Like, stop being so dumb.
Where's your inner child, Curtis? Where's your inner child?
I know. That's what I'm saying. This is me being big enough to admit that I'm a hypocrite. That the same thing that irritates me about the Star Wars fans, I have in myself, and I've got to see that. And I gotta, you know what? I gotta be a better person. But that being said, Instant Family, good movie. We enjoyed it. It's very heartfelt. So it's based on a true story too. So but
or at least inspired by.
Yeah, inspired by. But no Funky Bunch. So if you're looking for the Funky Bunch, it's not there.
It hasn't been there for a very long time.
I feel like the Marky Mark or the Funky Bunch has not been there for more than it ever was there.
Do you feel like he abandoned them? Like, do you ever feel like they kind of think, he wasn't there for it? He just left us.
Well, going back to Jesse's
I've ever thought about
In Sync, when he said In Sync at the beginning of the show, he was trying to think of Justin Timberlake. He left In Sync. He left.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, like I was just watching. Have you guys seen the Pee Wee Herman thing that's out right now? The documentary. Really good, by the way. But yeah, really good. But like in it, like you find out like, he like when was it Phil Hartman that left to go do Saturday Night Live? Like Pee Wee was pissed. Like he was like, no, you should stay on my stupid show and be the Captain Carl character rather than go to Saturday Night Live. Right. And it's like this guy's trying to better himself. He's trying to do something, but I'm just, that got me wondering like what the Funky Bunch thinks of Marky Mark. Like if they were like,
oh, they're pissed.
This guy goes off. Like we start out, we're doing this whole music thing, right? And then he starts doing acting. Like where's the acting come from? We were singing and dancing around with our shirts off and all this, and now you're acting and you just leave us behind, because you can't have just the Funky Bunch by themselves. It's not like they're gonna put out an album. So
you could say that about his brother too, Danny Wahlberg. He was the
Donnie. Yeah.
Donnie.
Yeah. There was a Danny in New Kids, but Donnie is the Wahlberg. Yeah.
Donnie Wahlberg of New Kids on the Block. He left them to go act.
Yeah, but they were kind of dead by that point. So yeah. They never. I don't think any of them did anything solo. Did they? The New Kids? Did any of them become big by themselves?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah. But anyway,
yeah,
that's it. That's my boy band discussion for the day.
There we go.
So,
I was just happy I pulled out a boy band earlier to make an example like that. This is the most I have spent thinking about this topic probably in my life.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. We did it.
Not criticizing boy. It's just not a rabbit hole my mind goes down.
So, what was it, like a month ago or so? A month and a half ago? Anyway, I had to go with a group of people up to Iowa for work, right? We were going to visit another bottler and take a look around. Anyways, on the way back, I did the driving on the way back. It was like I don't know, like 6.5 hour drive. And so it's one of those things where we rented a vehicle. I'm driving. All the other people are in the vehicle with us. And, you know, typically like they're taking naps and shit while I'm doing all the work. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to, you know, play my Spotify list. And so I just started like, I would go, I had like a metal playlist, played that. I've got like this, what I call like an emo playlist. I play that, played my, I've got a, what is it? Like, forget what I call it, like mythic metal or something. Anyway, I go through all these different playlists. Well, then I'm like, I get to boy band playlist and I play my boy band playlist. And that's when my boss wakes up and he just like, he does one of these where he's like, asleep. He looks up, looks over at me, he goes, fucking really? And then he just went back to sleep. And that was it. That was it. He just looked at me, said, fucking really? And then he just went back to sleep. So then when everybody else woke up and he was still sleeping, I said that he put it on. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah.
I don't have a boy band playlist.
Oh, you got to have a boy band playlist.
No, I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Little All for One, NSYNC. All for One, Boys to Men.
Like the song from Three Musketeers?
No. Different thing. Different
All
thing.
for One, All for Love?
Yeah. One Direction. Come on.
I'm not saying I don't have. I have what's
Backstreet Boys.
who's the story of my life?
All right. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I guess technically the Beatles are a boy band, but like,
Yeah,
I'm thinking more modern boy bands. Like the Beatles are a very unique sound.
Everybody.
Yeah.
I think the most embarrassing song on my iTunes is "Call Me Maybe."
That's pretty embarrassing.
It
I'm
just makes me laugh.
embarrassed.
The song makes me laugh.
I'm embarrassed for you on that one.
I'm not.
So if you ever need to talk about that, I'm here. If you need like 8 minutes to talk about why that's on your playlist.
I'm good. Yes,
Okay.
All for Love was Bryan Adams, Sting, and Rod Stewart. I thought
That's a boy band.
that's
band.
a collaboration. That's not that wasn't a band.
That's the one that's in Robin Hood.
No,
So
Three
the song
Musketeers.
What's the Robin Hood song?
That is Bryan Adams, but that's
what is
Everything I Do.
That's it. Yeah, that one's emotional. That would get me weepy.
All for Love's pretty good.
That ending scene on that the Robin Hood, not the ending scene, but you know, like the castle scene, like that's freaking brutal. I can't believe some of the stuff that they let us watch as kids. Like she's like, I didn't realize it at the time. Like I'm a kid, I don't know what's going on, but she's like full on getting stuff happening.
Almost.
It's and like the witch lady is just like, yeah, do it. Like
Without saying the word.
Good. Yeah.
An apology. I will be putting a disclaimer in this show because we talked about some heavy stuff tonight,
folks.
I think the only reason they get away with that sequence in that movie is because every time they go to it, despite it being horrifying, they added some level, I hate to say the word humor, but they tried to make jokes at it. Because like, she's like, oh, she's ripe. And then he's like, and then, there's someone pounding on the door. He's like, oh, there's always some moment of.
Yeah, they do that thing where he like puts his feet down and like the legs go like that.
Right, it's very cartoony. Like
it is super
I'm not
cartoony,
saying
but
it's
at the same time, it's like this is like as a kid, I watched it and I don't think I understood. Like I knew it was bad. I knew he was being a bad guy, and I knew that she needed somebody to save her. But you watch it as an adult and you're like, holy crap, why did my parents let me watch this? Like this is that's way worse than the 3-boobed lady on Total Recall. Like that's, you know what I'm saying? Like that's,
Yeah.
Actual subject matter wise, 100%.
Yeah.
100% agree.
but that's the stuff that my parents would be like, no, that's got a 3-boobed lady on it. You're not seeing that. But like this other thing, it's like, oh yeah, it's got, Bryan Adams singing in it. And it's a Costner movie. Everything's fine. Like,
Yeah.
Everything's
Everything's fine except for the fact that they won't release the damn theatrical cut on Blu-ray.
But if you are going to tear
Or DVD.
somebody's heart out, you should do it with a spoon because it'll hurt more. So, yeah, that's just facts.
Okay, Faces of Death is a completely different conversation. Like that's
Yeah, my parents didn't let me watch that.
Robin Hood's a PG-13 movie.
But it's weird. Like there's things like you think back to like things that you watched as a kid that you're like, oh yeah, that was totally normal. And then you're like, you watch it now and you're like, oh my God. Like I took Great Outdoors, the movie Great Outdoors with John Candy and stuff. What was that? Did you just get bit by something?
Some sort of feedback. Continue.
Okay.
Right.
So I took the movie Great Outdoors to school because they were like, we had a substitute teacher that was going to come in and they were looking for a movie to play. And I'm like, oh, this is a funny movie. Watch it with my family. We love it, whatever. And like, I forgot that there's like this whole scene where like the wife is doing like a striptease dance and he's like filming her and stuff. And I'm like, so like, then that comes on, like I'm in school watching this on VHS and I've seen it a bunch of times before with my parents, but as it's coming on and like now you're surrounded by a bunch of kids and a teacher and you're like, oh shit, I forgot this part was here. And that's not, I probably shouldn't have brought this in.
Oh no.
Yeah, this is bad. So
I felt like that when I brought Waterboy home to my mom and stepdad the summer it came out on video.
You brought what
I'd
home?
seen it in college. Waterboy.
Oh.
So I saw that in college with friends. It's it's dumb humor. It's funny. There's all that stuff, but then it like gets to some of the moments. I'm like, oh, I should not have chosen this to watch with my parents because, like, I mean, I was like 19 or 20 or whatever, but like, it's still that like awkward. Like she showed me her boobies and I like them too. Like and like those kind of moments are just like,
that might have been the best Waterboy impersonation I've ever heard. I love it.
H2O.
Yeah. He did.
So.
I do have to
I think
say
the only reason they finished watching it was because Henry Winkler was in it.
Yeah. And were they happy with his tattoo?
No, but
Oh, that's awesome.
I do have to say that I grew up watching a lot of movies with my dad, but it wasn't awkward until we sat down for the first time watching it together, and I was watching it for the first time. Was American Pie, and the stuff every time Eugene Levy walked in on Jason Biggs' character, I was like, this is weird. I don't want this ever to happen.
What breast exam shot in Office Space?
The neighbors watching. He's like, turn on channel 4 or something like that.
That's right. I forgot. That's right.
I don't know if that's the same moment, but it's like on TV or something, I think.
Yeah, that would be a bad one to come up. Yeah. Like when he first said Office Space, I'm thinking the O-face part, but yeah, the breast exam. Forgot about that. Yeah.
I got to bring this one from Mark. Neverending Story was horrible for kids. I 100% disagree. I think that's a movie every kid should watch before they're 6 years old. I kind
of agree. I think like that is teaching you to deal with death, and to understand.
I just went to a lot of funerals at a young age. Like,
yeah, that'll do it too, I guess. I feel like that's teaching a valuable life lesson.
For sure. A lot of those 80s movies had those traumatic things, but like they've stuck with us and they've imparted things on us. Now, granted, everybody reacts to stuff differently, but I mean, I couldn't watch the scene in Indiana Jones where he punches the guy into the propeller blades until I was in college. Like, my brothers had me so freaked out. That and the whole opening of the ark with the ghosts and everything. They had me so freaked out about that. By even if I was watching it by myself, I would cover my eyes until the sounds changed.
This is I still will not watch. I mean, my kids are let's see, we've got one that's like in their 30s, we got one that's in their mid 20s, we got two that are in their low 20s, and our youngest ones are like 19. I still would not watch Deadpool with them. Like that whole them going through the seasons, dude, awkward as shit watching that with your kids. Like, no way.
Not something to watch with your kids. Yes.
Yeah. I think I don't like watching it anyway. Like, I feel like I don't know. I feel like that stuff is just so unnecessary. Like, to me, it's not funny. It doesn't add to the movie. It's just like, I don't know, completely unnecessary.
Wrong way to show a passage of time.
I don't know.
I know we're running long, but there's a comment here. It's not quite the same thing. I'm going to bring it up that Terrence was talking about the face of death, and something in the background led to being inappropriate for 30 minutes. Has there ever been a time, and I can do my story first if you want, where you saw a movie in the theater and you couldn't keep it together with what you were watching? You were just having such a visceral reaction that you were borderline worried you were going to get kicked out of the theater. Not like Pee Wee Herman, not that kind of reaction. Like
you were freaking out and you couldn't leave the theater?
I was laughing. It was not a comedy.
Oh. No.
Okay.
I felt disturbed when I saw a movie and I was like, I should leave, but I want to see the ending.
Yes. I had Darlin. Okay. Oh my gosh. I had totally blocked this out of my memory, and now I gotta talk about this. Darla and I went to watch a movie. It was our first movie together. Darla had come out to visit. She lived in California. I was living in Illinois. She came out to visit me, and we went to our first movie together. And we went to a movie called Don John, like a modern take on Don Juan, right? Mm-hmm. With Joseph Gordon-Levitt in it.
And ScarJo.
I didn't get that far into the movie.
Oh, wow.
Because for the first like 10 to 15 minutes of the movie, he is just masturbating and talking about masturbating. And like, I had brought her to this fancy movie theater that had like the reclining seats and the heated seats, and you push a little button and a waiter comes over and they take your order and you can order food and they bring you food and drinks, like a very fancy setup and everything. And we're just sitting there, first time at a movie theater together, and this dude is just gripping and ripping, man. And yeah, I mean, like 10, 15, I think we made it like 10 minutes in the movie. I'm like, we got to go. Like, we can't do this. And we walked out. So yeah. I have no idea what the rest of the movie was about. If it got better, I don't care. Like, and now the other thing is I can't see him in a movie. Like watching him in that Batman movie. I'm like, nope. I just can't. I can't. Yeah. Ruined it.
Some really good Joseph Gordon-Levitt movies after that. For me, I sat through it. I don't think I'll ever watch it again, and I don't know why I sat through it. But when I saw Passion of the Christ in theaters, I was like, this is not something that should be visually put out for entertainment. Religious debate and everything put aside, I just thought, like, wow, that is not something to watch for entertainment. I know. I
agree that it's not for entertainment. I kind of see it more as an art piece, kind of thing, or like, you know, I don't know, like watching some sort of like docu-series or something, like, you know. I think it can be an important movie for a lot of people to see, but I don't know anybody that's like yeah, I'm gonna watch this today. You know, I don't think it's an entertainment movie. So yeah. Jesse, tell us about your experience.
Mine they weren't traumatic in a negative way like that. So I was when I was living in Illinois, so it was like 2009, 2010, I don't remember. And I get a text from a friend saying, "Hey, it was one of the other like adults that helped with the youth group that had kids and like some of the kids. So it was a couple of teenagers and it was a couple of adults who went to go see a movie. We went to see the movie Knowing with Nicolas Cage and Rose Byrne. And we're sitting there, and, it looked like kind of like post-apocalyptic or like some sort of like warning movie. You know, they dig up a time capsule and some kids like writing down this code and, you know, predicting these horrible things. But anyway, before the movie starts, the trailers are playing, and the trailer for the movie Sorority Row comes on, which is kind of one of those like, I Know What You Did Last Summer, like college murder. Yeah, but like these girls do something, it was a joke, and they accidentally kill someone, so they try to cover. Anyway, I was like gut bust laughing by the end of that trailer. Like I was like trying to hold it in, and I was like giggling, and the other adults are sitting next to me and they're like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "This is so stupid." Like I was just so amused. And then like I think Carrie Fisher's in it at the end, like the end of the trailer is like, "Get away from her, you." It was, you know, the whole "get away from her, you bitch" or whatever, like from Aliens, but like it was delivered so bad that I was just like, blah, like out loud in the movie theater, right? Then the movie Knowing starts. First 10, 15 minutes, I'm kind of hooked. But this was one of the first times I think I realized like Nicolas Cage was Nicolas Caging in this movie, if you know what I mean.
He was caging it.
It's like the turn when he like really cranked up the cage.
Yeah, I've not seen it, but it's kind of like the whole the bees thing, you know, but like from that movie. And the movie just like it won't, like I'm like trying to hold it together because it's like this intense like thriller of a movie, but I'm just like like trying not to like laugh out loud. And there's just certain line deliveries and certain moments where I'm just like like just like no one else is laughing. There's just like everybody must have thought I had a condition of some sort, but like I could not. I didn't yell at a guy proposing. I mean, I did. I yelled at
that's right. Everybody's supposed to tell the story of Jesse's.
So anyway, if you ever get to watch the movie Knowing, watch it with your own internal like Mystery Science Theater turned on.
Oh, okay.
Because like there's a scene where like this thing is supposed to be creepy and it comes up at someone like sticks their hand. No, they don't even. They're standing there. It's creepy in the dark, and all of a sudden they just open their mouth and this beam of light comes out, and I was just like, "What the fuck?" Like it's so bad.
I appreciate your story, but I was getting very distracted because Rob and Terrence have I don't know what's wrong with them. Maybe they need 8 minutes to talk to somebody, but they're both trash talking the original Crow movie, not like all the extra bullshit ones after, but like the original amazing Crow movie. Yeah, I don't know.
I might have to leave that chat group.
Yeah, that's wrong. That's just wrong. Like,
or I'm gonna have to debate that in our chat.
Yeah, that's rough. Terrence even says, I think Crow is such a 90s thing. I respect that people like it, but I've never understood the appeal to the level some people have for it. Now, I could see saying that certain people like it maybe more than they should or more than you get or understand. But Rob just like flat out says that it was mediocre at best. And that I just cannot abide, dude. Dude does not abide. I don't know. That's rough. But we did have a and Jeremy says that they're both dead to him. So there you go. And Gina says
for the record, I like The Crow, but like it did not hit me on the same level it hit, say, Sean. Like Sean was borderline obsessed with that movie.
Gotcha.
I thought it was good. I still enjoy it. I've never read the comic, so I can't compare that. So I know it's one of those things that I feel like it sounds like Rob read the comic before the movie came out. So he's probably very attached to the comic. And I get not appreciating the adaptation if it doesn't fit your expectations.
Okay. Next, we've got segment of the show that we started that we'd like to do right now. And this is, hold on, let me begin. Jeffrey. Jeff, can you tell the story where Jesse yelled at the guy proposing in a theater? We'd like to hear your take on this story.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. I tried catching on to what Curtis and G was saying last week. So Jesse's sitting in a theater and he's with a group of friends, and they're watching the teasers, the trailers at the beginning, and all of a sudden, this dramatic, lovely proposal comes on the screen.
Oh, that's sweet.
And Jesse, like he does, blasts out booing them. Like, why? Why would you boo them, Jesse? Why?
Did anything else happen? Any drop kicks or
he flew out of his chair like Superman and did these somersaults and and then said, "These bitches."
Wow, he was just out. He was deuces. He was out of there. Wow. Okay. Well, there you go, folks. There's the story of Jesse and the proposal at the theater. So tune in next week to see our next guest talk about Jesse breaking up the proposal at the theater. So, yeah. Yeah. Anything else, Jeff? Anything you got going on you want to promote or talk about?
I'm in a state of
Florida.
State of Florida. I'm in the
Yes.
state of Florida, I like to call it. But I'm in a what is that? A portion of collecting where I need to move stuff. I need to bring the collection down a little. So in the next couple of days, I'll be posting up on my Facebook, and then taking that post and probably reposting and cross-posting everywhere I can to sell some stuff off. And I've made a lot of deals in the community that I want to pursue and use that money to pay for those deals and pay off some debt and so on and so forth. So that's happening in the next week or so.
Fire it up.
Cut me deep. Cut me
Jeff,
deep, Joe.
If I may, I recently did a claim sale in the Purple Gang group.
Yes.
And I will say that is a very good place to move product. So if you're going to move stuff, I would say that, I didn't have luck with wrestling. They don't like wrestler figures. So if you got wrestlers, they're not going to do that. And I had some Marvel stuff that didn't move. But anything else, man, they were all over it. So just FYI.
Good to know. I will definitely drop it in there, and hopefully the admins don't delete it.
No, they're good guys.
And then Cosmic Contact. I know I've been out of doing Cosmic Contact for the last month and a half. I got, my life took a turn, and my want to do it in the Facebook took a turn. Facebook is terrible for doing lives. If anybody has tried doing it, it's awful.
It was okay for a bit because they allowed you to use StreamYard on it, but then once they broke that connection,
there is a workaround. I've been wanting to do it, but I've never had StreamYard, and so that was my next hurdle that I'm working on, is getting StreamYard. This coming pay period, I'll be purchasing StreamYard because my wife wants to use it for her master's degree. So we
Nice.
decided to get StreamYard together. A happy
Nice.
couple with StreamYard.
I told you needed a partner to share the expense of StreamYard. You just didn't know that they were already in your own house.
Didn't even know it.
There you go.
And we had a
The call
conversation.
is coming from inside the house.
Yes. Yeah.
I had my 8 minutes with her.
Let her be like, yeah, the things that I need to do are on Tuesday nights. So you're not going to be able to do your show.
Yeah.
You got to move your show. You got to work around the schedule. So
Yeah. If she will definitely come first. Mine's just for fun. But yeah, that's the goal, is to bring Cosmic Contact, or maybe I'll change the name for a third time, because everybody loved saying Cosmic Connections when it was Cosmic Contact. So let's
it is in the song. It is in the Legend Daddy song. I did want to throw up this comment from Rob. He said you should definitely keep all your McFarlane stuff, because McFarlane's awesome and he loves DC, and that is probably the best line that you're collecting. So I'm pretty sure that's what he said. I couldn't read the whole thing, but I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
Yeah, that's the right way. So,
yeah.
So yeah, be on the lookout. Streaming coming soon. Back to Source Figure, my YouTube channel and socials. And we'll be talking cosmic and sci-fi going forward. If anybody wants to be one of the first newer guests, hit me up. You know where I am, in the Cabal, on Facebook, wherever messengers are. I'm probably going to have these two on first, because they started it all with me, along with Greg and stuff like that. So you'll see some familiar faces and some new faces, because there are some customizers that I want to bring out that I've seen in the Cosmic Cabal and hearing around that I want to talk to.
I'm glad you said that, because I realize, we're pushing 3 hours here and we did not talk about Cosmic Legions really at all. And it's been a while since anything new's come out for it, but I know Wave 1 of Ox Crew's coming, or Book 1 of Ox Crew's coming. I definitely want to talk about it, because I'm super excited for that wave. I know you're a huge fan of the Cosmic line, so that's definitely a conversation to look forward to down the road.
We'll do it on mine.
All right.
And look at this compliment. Rob says McFarlane is just as good as the 90 Crows movie. That's high praise. That is high praise. Man, damn, that's great, Rob. Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you. I you know what? I agree with that. It's on par with how cool the Crow movie is. So
Terrence, actually, the first guest was Colin Culp. If we're going back to Cosmic Connections, the first guest was Colin Culp.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. But they can see you every other Friday on OffWorld, right?
Every other Friday, because what Liz reminded me was you were doing it every other Friday. Why did you change it to every Friday? And I was like, because I had nothing else to do. So why not do it every Friday? And then my life turned. So then she was like, well, maybe you should go back to the every other Friday.
No, I gotta step in here, because that's not correct. You were doing every other Friday because we were having the 2.0 episodes
right.
every other Friday, because we had the 1.0 group, which was me, Dude, Sean, and Jesse, right? And then Sean flaked out, and then so we brought in Joe. Right. And then we had the 2.0 in the off weeks, because Jesse's like, D&D is more important than OffWorld. And Dooch is like, I don't care about you guys at all. And then on the 1.0 episode, Jesse started not showing up and Dooch started not showing up. And then it was just me and Joe. And then the 2.0 episodes, those guys were fire. Like you and the other crew there was like, you guys were bringing the heat. Oz was on there. Like you guys were like, and it was like, man, these 2.0 episodes are kind of better than the 1.0 episodes. And so then it just became OffWorld. There is no 1.0 and 2.0. It's just all the same. And you basically got promoted to the A team. And A team goes every week. So that's what happened. But we have accepted your part-time employment that you have, we have an attendance now on OffWorld. Joe is keeping track of attendance. And you made sure you let him know that you were accepting a part-time position. And so we have accepted that. You are not getting demerits on the Fridays that you're not there. Other people are, though. So everybody else is considered full-time and just missing and absent, whereas you're part-time and you're in good shape, Jeff.
Thanks,
Folks,
Chris.
can we embiggen me for a second, Curtis?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I got it. Oh, no. I still want you guys on there.
Okay.
Folks,
medium.
I like sharing. I don't like being the only one on screen. Folks, just want to point out, this is exactly what I was talking about earlier, where, you can open up and share things with your friends like Curtis, an 8-minute conversation, what you need, things you're doing with your life. And then the whole, like, that's my sibling, I'm going to tease the shit out of them. But if anyone else says anything, I'm all over it. This was the Curtis doing the teasing the shit out of us. Just so you know what that looks like. This is all in playful fun. Yeah. That's all. That's it.
And that's why I keep coming back for more.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you saying that, Jesse, because I do get messages every now and then that's like, hey, how come you're so mean to such and such? like when I'm on a show with Trevor and people are like, how come you and Trevor are so mean to each other? I'm like, no. Like Trevor and I, we love each other a lot. Like,
you make out every year at Legion's Con.
Like, really a lot. But it's fun. It's fun to fight on screen. So yeah. So there you go. Well, Jeff, it's been awesome having you. Appreciate you being on for your second appearance.
Yeah, I know. I'll take it. But I really wanted just a Jesse Arnold drawing, and I got my Jesse Arnold drawing finally. So.
Hey.
There you go. Yeah, we appreciate you being on. We're going to put you backstage. If you've got to run, we totally get it. If not, hang out and we'll be right with you as soon as we close out the show.
Later on, everybody. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, man.
Thank you, Jeff. All right. Technically,
you guys are getting paid.
If we want to get really technical and nasty about it, OffWorld is technically the 1.0 is technically version 1.5, if not version 2.0, and 2.0 is 3.0. If you want to get really technical about it,
until they got promoted. Yeah.
But that's not how 0.0s work.
Hey, Gina, just to answer your question, I'm going to shut off my camera for a second.
Trevor, do you agree with Curtis's statements? Is this fun for you? I mean, that's Curtis's picture. But this is Trevor's response to that. Is the kissy face emoji.
I'm just saying. Okay, so let me hold on. Let me take off my camera there for a second again. So if you look at this picture, let me embiggen my picture here. I've got some hair over here, and Trevor came to me and he said, "Hey, listen, I love making out with you every year at Legion's Con. Not so much into the hair on your cheek, like can we get a nice like landing spot in here?" And I have shaved. I'm keeping this open. I didn't wait for Legion's Con. I started it before Mesquite Con. I know he didn't show up, but there's a chance he could, and I wanted to make sure that this area was open. So I have changed my whole facial hair and overall look just in case I run into Trevor at some point at wherever, out and about at a Walmart,
Navy Pier,
porta potty, whatever, so that if he wanted to kiss me, he's got a nice soft spot. So yeah.
Speaking of Curtis, we've got some Wolf King appearances coming up in the near future. Saturday, June 14th, so in just under 2 weeks, Maryland Toy Expo. That's coming up, so make sure you check the Wolf King. That'll be a Horseman Street Team event. So Len will be running the Horseman Street Team table. I'll be running Wolf King. Great American Toy Show, Saturday, July 19th, up in Tauntaun, is it Massachusetts, Connecticut? I don't know. It's wherever the frozen two-legged lizard horses are. And then the Carlisle Comic and Card Show in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, August 30th, and of course Legion's Con in November.
Oh, did you know this? Terrence says there's an animated show on Netflix called Wolf King.
I knew there was one coming. I didn't know it was out yet.
There you go. Oh shit! What was that? What was that show that we were going to watch on Apple TV? The robot one.
Murderbot.
Murderbot. Yep. Got to write that down. All right.
I'm still waiting for that. Like, I don't think it's bad. I'm caught up on it. I won't spoil it. It hasn't hooked me yet.
Okay.
I thought it was like we'll see where it goes.
Okay.
Like, it's good. It's just it hasn't been like, oh, like I think it was like episode 5 or 6 of Severance that really got me into it. I'm waiting for that kind of moment in this show.
I am I'm going through Picard right now because a lot of our friends, including Joe Gonzalez, has recommended it. Season 1 was really good. Season 2 was not good. And now I'm in season 3, which is supposed to be the best. I'm 2 episodes in, and I'm not what I would call blown away. So we'll see. But I heard that if I liked season 1, I will love season 3. So fingers crossed. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's it for those things. And I know you're going to be at which one?
Joe Lanta in September.
Joe Lanta. Okay.
Yep.
Mark's coming in. Season 3 is the best. It gets better.
Cool.
Next week.
Can I bring something else up real quick? I'm sorry, because this is something Darla and I were talking about. So there's not a spoiler. I don't know. There's a character in season 3 that shows up, right? And he is also a character that's in this show that Nate got me watching called Outlander, where he's like a pirate that's like a rapist and like just a bad guy. Like he's just a terrible dude. And Darla and I have this thing, like we'll see somebody, we won't know, we won't like at first like know like they're from that show or they're this character or this is this actor or whatever, but we'll just see their face and go, we don't like this person. Like, why don't we like this person? Like, you know, like that something about their face like triggers that thing that you've seen. So like we've seen him in this other show, like raping women and being this bad guy. So then you see him on another show and he's supposed to be a character that you maybe are going to like. And you're like, I don't like this guy and I don't know why. I don't know. I don't like that feeling. That's why when they cast like superheroes for these comic book movies and stuff, I prefer it to be like an unknown actor so that I don't have that, you know, attachment to the person. Like when I see their face, it doesn't give me that emotion.
Sure.
So, I don't know. Does that make sense?
Same character or just the same actor?
No, it's just the same actor. It's an actor that was in this other series. And because he was a bad guy in the series, when I see character. No, it's the same actor. But it's like I see his face, and it just has this emotional attachment to seeing that face, and it's like, oh, you know,
like what's his name? Ed Skrein, whatever, the guy who played the Francis in Deadpool.
Yeah,
like the main villain. I can't see him in a movie and not want to punch him.
Yeah.
Like even movies where he's playing like the protagonist, the guy you're supposed to like Midway. Mm-hmm. I couldn't stand him in that movie. Couldn't stand him. But like, I don't think he's a bad person. His face is just so seared into my brain. I totally get that.
And a lot of times I can't place it. I'll just like see somebody and I don't know what it is, but I want to punch this person. Why do I want to punch this person? Mm. Oh yeah, because they were a bad person. That other thing. So
yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So sorry.
Well, not punching
people. Out of my brain. It was in my brain, and I had to share it with you. Yeah.
Sure. What was I gonna say? Next week we got a show. We have a special guest. I mean, they're always special. All our guests are special. And
that is a bummer. That was a good. I enjoyed season 1.
Oh,
so, yeah.
But next week, first time on the channel. I can't say I've ever seen them on a show anywhere. Not that I watch everything, but we've got John Moore who usually goes by the backwards spelling of his name on Facebook. Makes awesome stuff. He's got those little bots out for sale right now, those little spider bots that you can put the cosmic heads on, and like the antenna to do kind of the Boba Fett kind of like viewfinder on the side of the cosmic helmets and such. So yeah, we'll be looking forward to getting to know him a little bit, and catch up with what he's doing, what he's working on, and getting to know him. So yeah, tune in next week, Sunday, June 8th. For John Moore. And I don't know if that number is correct. I think maybe this week was supposed to be 22. I don't know. I'll fix the numbers. And we got a message from Carver Customs, aka Curtis Con 2.0. This will be Big John's first appearance. Great guy. Makes a lot of great stuff.
Yeah, I picked one of his spider bots up from Brian at MesquiCon. So
okay.
Yeah.
And he made an awesome swig for the 1,000 swigs.
Very cool.
Excellent.
Nice. Were you supposed to talk about Carver/Curtis Con, or we good?
I just didn't take those slides out from last week.
Okay.
We didn't have anything new to add to it other than all the stuff you added at the beginning that no one else was paying attention to. Your Hulk shirt.
No, just me being the headliner.
Oh, gotcha. See,
Yeah.
And this is the thing of me busting Curtis's balls right back.
Darla will be there as well, but clearly, I mean, I am the show.
Is your sticker on the profile yet?
We were still working. Like, basically, I think what we're gonna have to do is like, what did he say earlier? The dupla.
Triptych?
Yeah, that. Yeah, we're gonna have one with everybody else's, and then one with just mine, so that and then attach it with a hinge or whatever. Yeah. So it's like you open it up and it's like art by Akerman, all these other people. So
Gotcha.
yeah. So I think Brian's working on all that right now. So
Okay. I'm not going to make that joke that was just in my head because I don't want anyone to clip me saying what I was thinking out loud because it'll be taken completely out of context.
He says CarverCon shirts will be going up for pre-order this week. I didn't see anything for approval on that. We'll talk.
Well, this is just the CarverCon side of it. The Curtis Con shirts already exist. So
okay, but I mean we were rebranding it Carver/Curtis Con, but we'll talk. It's fine. We got time.
I need an adult. I need help. Someone get me out of this. Hey. All right, folks, that's it. That's the show. I can't believe you're still here. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Jeff, for coming in. Thank you for seriously, all jokes aside, I was really happy we got to have that conversation about some of that deeper stuff. I think that was a good thing for us to talk about just in general, and for other people to be able to engage in that. Find someone to reach out, get your 8 minutes if you need it. Reach out to a therapist, maybe medication. There's a lot of different ways to deal with this stuff. And alone is not one of them.
That's correct.
So anyway, thank you all for being here. Curtis, thank you for joining us from your hotel room. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your trip and you get home safe and soon. And until next time, folks.
What's on your shelf?
No!